Are there any winners in the cost of living crisis? What's causing the algal bloom?
Questions. They've never been more important. So the one thing we'll never question is our duty to keep asking. ABC News. Keep asking. AFL. On ABC Sport, you're listening to the 2026 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio,
Sport Digital
and ABC Listen.
A Saturday that started in the West ends in the West as the Eagles take on Port Adelaide at Perth Stadium. Clint Wilden with you. Good to have your company wherever you're listening as the Eagles are chasing back-to-back wins for the second time this season. And for the first time since 2021, West Coast have 4 wins in the bank already. Can they pick up a 5th? Or will Port Adelaide end a run of 4 games without a win? Going back to round 8, they've lost to Adelaide, the Bulldogs, Gold Coast and Carlton, but they are off a bye and hoping to turn things around for their coach, a man who caused West Coast no end of problems when he was playing both at Port and Fremantle in Josh Carr. The Eagles won the battle when they went head-to-head back in round 3. A thrilling victory as well. The safe hands of Job Shanahan down back secured a 2-point win. What happens tonight? There's big marquee matchups, particularly we look forward to seeing Harley Reid against Jason Horne-Francis and the battle in the Port forward line of Mitch Georgiades, one of the best defenders going around at the moment in Ruben Jinbi. That is something to look forward to. It's a smoky-looking Perth Stadium. The pyrotechnics going off as the Eagles made their way out onto the ground a few moments ago. There are no late changes to either of these sides. West Coast do welcome in for the first time in club colours one of their key recruits in the off-season, a dual premiership player in Brandon Starcevic. After an injury hit pre-season, he gets his opportunity tonight in the well-known number 4 jumper as well for the Eagles. And Duff Tytler is back in as well. Lindsay is out, Williams out, both probably unlucky, but it shows that this at last is an Eagles side that has some selection pressure. Mitch Turner is with me for the call. G'day, Mitch.
G'day, Clint. Great to be here, as you said. The Eagles got the better of them the last time they met at Adelaide Oval, but it's at Perth Stadium. They don't play often here. Normally is in South Australia, but keen to see how they go, the Eagles. They win tonight. They're just 1 win out at the end of Saturday night from the top 10 spot. Who would have thought? Plenty to play out across the weekend, but looking forward to what should be, we're all hoping, a really tight contest.
Certainly should be, as you look at where the sides are on the ladder, respectively in 15th and 16th at the start of the round. Crazy to think, still both a chance to play in the postseason with it now being a top 10. You mentioned of 2. First time that Port Adelaide has been at this ground to take on West Coast since round 3 2021. West Coast won that game by 37 points. Our experts tonight, dual premiership player Chris Waterman, All-Australian and former Fremantle AFLW captain in Cara Antonio. Welcome to you both. For, let's be honest, a game down the bottom of the ladder. I'm really amped for this one. Both sides would think this is a winnable game. It could be an enormous contest.
Yeah, no, I think we're going to have a pretty tough game of footy, and Mitch just stole my thunder. If West Coast can walk out with 4 points tonight, they go to bed 1 game out of the wild card position, which is hard to think. But yeah, this will be a close game. They've generally been close over the years. We've seen after the final siren wins and so forth. So they're 15th and 16th, so they're trying to rebound and work their way up the ladder. It's one small step at a time. So they won't be holding back tonight.
2 big bulls, Cara Antonio going head-to-head, we hope, in the middle. Harley Reid, Jason Horne-Francis. They've locked horns before. It's one of those battles that's worth the price of admission on its own.
Oh, it is, isn't it, Clint? And I've been really impressed. Although Port Adelaide have lost 4 of their last 5 games, Horne-Francis has been able to drift forward and hit the scoreboard, which has been most impressive. But Harley Reid, God, he's good to watch, especially live, and he just lights up the stadium. So that'll be a really big matchup. And the other one for me is the ruck battle. Bailey Williams has been outstanding, I think, this season already, and comes up against Sweet as well, who's quite handy aerially and gives his mids first option. So yeah, really interested to watch the midfield battle holistically, I suppose, and I reckon it'll be won and lost from in the middle there.
What do you make of the changes for this West Coast side? By the way, for Port, their changes. Lockie Jones is back from concussion. Jackson Mead returns after a 37 disposal and 1 goal game in the Sandville. Tom Cochrane in for his first game of the season after injury as well. Going out, Kane Farrell with a join. Tom Anastasopoulos is omitted, and so too Watkins. But the interesting decision to move Josh Lindsay out of this side didn't do much wrong, and Andrew McQualter, the coach, during the week saying, look, that selection pressure, we had to bring Starcevic in. We also wanted to give Duff Tytler a turn as someone who was rested and then couldn't force his way back into the side. It's a real positive for a West Coast team for the first time in a long time having that selection pressure. How did you see it?
Oh, it is, isn't it? It's a sign of good culture, especially when you're fighting for positions. I've been impressed with Lindsay, to be honest, with what the games that I've watched West Coast coming off that halfback. I really rate him. But again, really happy for Starcevic to finally get a run in the Eagles colours. We know how strong he has been in the past for the Brisbane Lions, and he just adds another big body back there to support Jimby and the like. So again, he'll be no doubt on limited minutes, and with that the 5 on the bench, they'll manage him accordingly. But yeah, I'm excited to see him finally play.
He does bring enormous experience, a dual premiership player, of course, with Brisbane. He is a big body. 26 years of age. This will game 133 in the AFL for Brandon Starcevic. Muddy, last week you were thinking maybe he might need one more week in the waffle. What do you expect from him this evening?
Hopefully everything goes right. And in a couple of hours' time, we're talking about Brandon Starcevic getting through his first game. I wasn't sure. It's always been the 10 to 12 quarters that coach has worked on, particularly pre-season, and he hasn't been able to do that. But I think he's had a long block of training. So I'm just hoping he just gets through. We spoke this morning about would he play Mitch Georgiades. I think Mitch is just too explosive and too powerful for that league to test out. Hopefully he's just floating across half-back, third man up, doing his job. And if he can get through 60 or 70% of the game tonight unscathed, I reckon they'd be really happy with that. If he didn't play, I would have been thinking next week he's cherry ripe. But let's just hope that the training, they back their training in, back in their phys ed staff. And for Brandon's sake, that he can get through a full game of footy tonight. He's got through 2 and a fair block of training, so hopefully he can steal up that back half for West Coast.
It's a big game for both clubs. Port trying to find their way back into winning form. The Eagles knowing after Port, games against North Melbourne and then Carlton to come in their next 3. Win those and they can start to set themselves up for a push into post-season football. So more than 4 points up for grabs for different reasons tonight for both of these clubs. Let's find out what it's like down on the boundary. Most of the smog haze is cleared from the fireworks and the pyrotechnics. Akash Vodadar is downstairs for us. Hello, Akash.
Good evening, Clint. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, it is slowly clearing that smoke haze. A much more pleasant evening down here than it was last Sunday. Not a breath of wind. It is a coolish, clear night, but great conditions for football. And as we get ready, the crowd is starting to fill in as well. Looking over to who will be starting on the bench for West Coast. Willem Dersma, Tom McCarthy, Cooper Duff-Tytler, Malachi Champion and Hamish Davis will start on the bench. And for Port Adelaide, Jackson Mead, Todd Marshall, Christian Moraes, Jacob Ware and Ollie Wines will start on the bench.
Toss of the coin has happened out in the middle. Zach Butters and Liam Baker for their respective sides. It's Port Adelaide and Zach Butters who've won the toss. They will kick to the left of our commentary position, the Graham Farmer Freeway end. West Coast will kick to the right, the city end of Perth Stadium.
You want to text us 0437 774 774. Love to get your thoughts throughout the game. Who do you think prevails between West Coast and Port? Who do you think prevails? Our experts, Chris Waterman.
So I'll just turn myself on. I'm pretty sure West Coast should be taking care of business here, given their form. But as Cara said previously, Port aren't losing by that much. They're in every game. That's the thing about it. They just need a lucky break. And if they get that lucky break, they'll jump a bit. So history tells us this will go down to the wire.
How the splinters, so you tipped.
But I did, West Coast, I did say it's a danger game for Freo today, didn't I?
You did.
This morning.
It was anything but.
Just a couple of goals off.
Cara?
I'm tipping the Eagles at home.
Yeah, West Coast for me, Mitch.
West Coast for me.
Oh, good luck to the Eagles. We're all on board them. We know what that normally means. For the first time, 2 games on the one day in the AFL in WA. Let's find out what eventuates. It's the Eagles at Port. Here's Mitch Turner.
Williams wins the tap over the top of Sweet for the Eagles. Horn Francis, though, was able to gather. Handball to Richards. Dispossessed. Ball in congestion. Middle of the ground. Harley Reid breaks the tackle. Handball's wide to Harvey Johnson on the wing. Inside by hand to Kelly. Goes outside to the left foot of Bo Allen, who spears it inside forward 50, but didn't favour the forwards. For his team, it's marked on the chest. The first intercept mark of the night for Aaliyah. Back in WA. East Fremantle product. Kicks out the southern wing. In front, Burgoyne able to float across. Take an uncontested mark and handball to Richards. Onwards to Durden from centre wing. Kicks towards the 50. Baker drops in front of Butters. Takes the mark and then collected Butters accidentally as he was falling back. Got the boot to the face of Zach Butters, who has gone down. There's no free kick. Crown's a bit restless. It was completely incidental. But Baker will have it at centre-half back as Butters is left to wipe away what could be a bit of blood on the eye. And as he's standing there on the mark, the Port Adelaide player has encroached from behind.
It was Tom Cochrane.
It was, yeah.
I wasn't sure. The umpire was waving his hands around, so he might have just thought it was a play on.
Baker marched towards the attacking side of the centre square. Goes long for the Eagles through everyone's hands. Aaliyah takes it, kicks it straight up and down in the air. Reid went back, didn't fly in the end. Off hands, Sweet. Tried to sock it off the deck. He missed. Ball outside, attacking 50 for the Eagles. Moraes runs over the top. Reid gets it to Marrick, to Cole, to Waterman. Tucked up against the boundary line. Bouncing ball. Beat Johnson. Hoff picks it up off the deck. Snaps on goal. Puts it through the middle. The unlikely first goal kicker, Brady Hoff, gets us going here at Perth Stadium. It's the 5th of his career. And West Coast, 1 straight 6. They lead Port Adelaide yet to score. 2 minutes played. First term, Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Mitch Turner, Clint Wilden with Chris Waterman and Cara Antonio.
Well, he's becoming a goal kicker with his tagging role. He's starting to hit the scoreboard every week now. I'm not sure the kick from Jake was the right one, but it was going to the right area. Just the right time, right place for Brady Hoff.
Clean pick up too.
Yeah.
Really good. That grubber ball seems to sometimes work though, doesn't it?
No one knows what it's doing.
That's it. Great start to Eagles. They've started really strong. Great pressure early.
Frenetic start. Dylan texts in. Eagles playing better for mine. Though Shaz also responds. He reckons Port will get up tonight. The Eagles have got the opening goal. Port in the tap down through Sweet, but it came out towards Harley Reid. Got a hand pass forward to Kelly. Kicks inside forward 50. Not what he was wanting at all. Just found a Port player. It hit Lie on the chest. And he's got the mark defensively for Port. Goes beyond defensive 50. Oh, Reid! Harley goes over the top of Richards. Marks, plays on immediately. Thumps it long towards full forward. Going back, Radaglia can't mark. Picks it up off the deck. Got it away a second time to Evans. Under real pressure. Got boots of ball. It bobbles across the boundary line. Deep in the left back pocket for Port. Throw in.
Well, you're not going to get the matchup you've wanted today, Clint. Brady Hoff's going straight to Horn Francis off the half-forward flank after the centre bounce.
Still reckon we'll see it at some stage tonight, Muddy. That's what I'm hoping for nonetheless. Throwing in again. Sweet front position. Palmed it down. Opportunity to clear. Getting a long kick away there. Port Adelaide. McInerney into the middle of the ground. It's allowed to bounce. Back there, Baker to Jinby for the Eagles. Here's Starcevic. His first kick goes in the direction of Kelly, who dives forward to mark. Low down on the logo on the northern wing. Looks to play on immediately up against Berry. Kicks inside forward 50. Yo went up. Couldn't mark Sweet. Got a hand pass back, and Port will have a clearing kick long towards left half back. It came off Whitlock, spilled down to Duggan. His kick smothered. Duggan went back in, got it a second time, wrapped up strongly. Horn Francis takes him to ground. Ball up right half forward for the Eagles, who lead 1 straight 6 to Port yet to score. 4 gone in the first.
All tossed up in the air. Yo trying to take it off the knock, couldn't. Horn Francis through traffic, trying to draw the free kick high. He did. It was the out-of-area umpire who paid it. The closest umpire was happy to let it go. Certainly went in low, angled himself, Jason Horn-Francis. He will win the free kick. Just ahead of left half back. Kicks up the wing. Bazzo in front. Couldn't mark. Big fist from Georgiades behind. Front of the ball, Evans. He's tackled by Murdoch. Somehow got it out. Jimmy collects for the Eagles. Handball backwards to Kelly. On centre wing. Goes inboard by hand to Baker. Now into the middle of the centre square to Cole. Had a couple of options in the end. Handball back to Starcevic, who chips it up the middle of the centre square. Reid couldn't take it. Port have it back. Under pressure, though. Mead was sold a task. Was tackled immediately by Tom Cole. Will have a stoppage. Attacking side of that centre square, favouring the West Coast Eagles, who lead by a goal. Sweet and Williams lock up. Sweet got the tap. Richards, quick clearing kick towards centre half forward. Starcevic punches it away from Durden. Umpire says he was holding him. Free kick Port Adelaide. Durden has it. Kicking a half away from goals. Lead up the middle. Strong lead from Cochrane. Takes it. Man of the mark will stand about 48 metres out. And he'll go back and have the set shot.
Yeah, they've been really hot on the defenders, just putting the arm around the waist. The last night's game and today and Thursday night. Whether you're grabbing or not, as soon as you put the arm around the waist, it's a holding free kick.
Tommy Cochrane directly in front in his first game of the season. Wheels around, kicks from just outside 50. It's long to the behind line. Georgiades almost reeled it in, but it's off hands through for a minor score. That's Port's opening score of the match. One behind, they trail the Eagles 1 straight 6 minutes play.
Hoff has now gone to stand alongside Butters. Starcevic, lovely kick, finds Marrick at right half back. Ball bounces low down, sets Shanahan a task. He's able to scoop it up, and then he's tackled to ground right half back. Radagalia got him. Ball up the call. Beneath our broadcast position here on the northern wing. Sweet got fingertips to it. Emerging with it, Mead for the power. Back to Butters. Kicks inside, forward 50. Leading out, Georgiades got in front of Jinby. Is able to take the mark. Just tighter than a 45-degree angle to the left. He'll put boot to ball from 40 out.
Showed it better there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Bit of body work early and nice positioning from the forward.
Another chaos ball, really straight out of a clearance.
Last year's leading goal kicker for Port, 27-26 for the year, Georgiades. He's on his way in. Boots will cross the 50. We're right behind the kick. It's starting out to the right. Will it swing enough even to be a behind just? Minor score to the right-hand side. Port Adelaide double their score. They're 2 behinds. The Eagles are 1 straight 6. 7.5 gone opening term. This is ABC Sports coverage of Saturday footy.
The Eagles kick the ball in. Marrick takes the mark right half back. Georgiades took mark of the year here in 2022 against the Dockers. Might be flying high again tonight. Marrick up the northern wing. Looking for a target. Shanahan and Radagalia are able to drop in front, take the intercept mark for Port Adelaide. Butters sweeping around, gets the handball, goes short, lead on from Moraes, who can take the mark, swing back inboard by foot to Radagalia on the logo. The Eagles' numbers behind the ball. Radagalia decides to take off the former Cat, kicks it inside the forward 50, looking for a marking target. Duggan flew, couldn't take it. At ground level, Marshall, good through traffic. Handball, a little hot for Drew. Now tackled as he gathers by McCarthy. Had some time. Umpire was lenient.
Very lenient. He had an opportunity there to handball that back and didn't take it.
Ball up centre half forward. Sweet got a hand to it. Couldn't find a rover. Drew goes in after it. Handball was straight to Dersman, though. The Eagles flicks out to Champion. Tackled immediately by Evans. Another ball up 55 metres out from Port Adelaide's attacking goal. They trail by 4 points.
Ball thrown up into the air. Sweet takes clean possession. Gives it to a fellow Port player in Drew. Kicks around the body to a 3-on-3 battle. Right forward pocket off hands. Spill down. Snap at goal across the face from Cochrane. He's been busy early. Just a minor score on this occasion, though. 3 behinds now, Port. 1 straight 6, the Eagles. 9 gone opening term. Earlier today, Freo by 124 points over North and Brisbane by 31 over the Suns.
Starcevic with the kick in duties. Plays on. Runs his measure. Now kicks out to this northern wing. And Radagalia again. Another intercept mark. Strong start. Has a bit of size on Shanahan. He goes inboard. Barely the required 15 to Mead, who once again barely the 15 inside to Wines on the logo. Steps off his line, now sends it inside 50, looking for a mark in front. Burgoyne Queen had a fair piece of it. Mark not paid at ground level. Port Adelaide tried to break through. They can't. Young's in there for the Eagles. I'll wrap up again. Ball upcoming, 40 metres out directly in front for Port Adelaide. Sweet v Williams. Sweet again with a clear palm to it. Williams, though, did the roving off the ruck work. Long kick towards the middle of the ground. He was looking for Duff Tyler. He couldn't win it. Come down the way of Aaliyah, who goes wide to Burgoyne.
Burgoyne moves it on again and finds Marshall. Hits him on the chest. Hard up against the boundary at right half forward. Congested forward 50. Floating in there now, though, is Ware at the top of the 50. That's ignored. Kick stabbed into the right forward pocket. And the mark taken again by Cochrane. He is busy in his first game of 2026. This will be his third opportunity to have a shot at goal. It's tight in the right forward pocket. He'll be putting boot to ball from about 45 out.
They've dominated the last 3 or 4 minutes of play here, Port. They need to hit the scoreboard now.
Lead the inside 50, 7-5 as Cochrane from a tight angle, right forward pocket, kicks the goal. Back in the team after an injury hit start to 2026. Tom Cochrane kicks Port's first of the evening. 11 minutes gone in the opening quarter. Port Adelaide are in front, 139. The Eagles, 1 straight 6 on ABC Local Radio, News Radio and Sport Digital. And streaming on ABC Listen. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport. Our experts, Chris Waterman and Cara Antonio.
Josh Carr mentioned throughout the week when he named Cochrane back in the side, he's a bit of an X-factor forward, and God, he's been lively early. Just no body contact there from the Eagles defender. Just, he had his way, led straight at the footy, no pressure at all, but a really nice finish from the young forward.
Might be 2 of them out there next year. Dougie Cochrane, the younger brother, the potential number 1 pick. Port Adelaide with rights to him if they can access him. Ball back in the middle, Duff Tyler up against Sweet. Sweet won the tap. Duff Tyler did the roving. Couldn't find a teammate with his hands. Sweet went back in, couldn't gather. The ball was bobbling around inside the centre circle. Butters, though, he was clean. Handball to Sweet. Along the ground now to Burgoyne. Looking to get it to a teammate. Couldn't. Well done by Duggan. Dersma able to come in with support. Now the Eagles go down the southern side. Champion delayed the handball, then got it on to Davis. Back to Dersma, tackled, handball, coughed it up. Back Port Adelaide's way. Burn-Jones to Mead. He turns it over. The Eagles have it again. Murdoch chips it towards left half forward. Strong mark, Waterman. Out in front of Aaliyah. 60 out. He can kick it from here. Jake Waterman, he wheels around. Kicks towards the top of the goal square. Big fly from Bo Allen. Marks over the top of the pack. Strong set of hands from the youngster. He'll go back 45-degree angle, 35 metres out. Looking for the Eagles' second goal.
Just a great kick, a great spot to kick it. Any deeper, defenders, they have the right to spoil it over the line, but fantastic kick, great pack mark.
Yeah, that's what you like to see from a tallish winger.
2 goals for his career and this season. Bo Allen to finish off the good work. He sends it home. And that delights the Eagles fans. They're back in front. 2 straight 12 West Coast. Port Adelaide a 1-3, 9-13 minutes travelled here. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Great to have your company and great to have Chris Waterman and Cara Antonio in the box.
Well, they got the jump out of the middle, and young Malachi, Champion, decided to put that extra handball in, but he had a chance to get it in deep. They nearly turned it back over. They re-won the ball, and then Milan Murdoch got it and put it in the Jake. And that way, once you've marked the ball, you've got control going inside 50. And that's what they were able to do, was put it into a spot where they can gain a mark and have another shot on goal.
Got a task for you, Muddy and Cara. Text coming through from Kim on 0437 774 774. Is Milan Murdoch doing a tagging role again? So keep an eye out for that one.
Back in the middle. Sweet wins it down again. That's his 9th hit out to 1 for the Eagles, but it came out to Kelly, was able to tap it back. Chance for Dersma. Now on to McCarthy. Gets a kick in the direction of Allen, who slipped over. Couldn't find him. The ball go over the boundary line. That'll be the lasso rule. Burgoyne to take the free kick in front of the Port interchange gates. Shots back inboard. Then stops and props and eventually gets a kick away under the pressure of Allen. Heads towards left half forward. Jinby provides the spoil. Georgiades in front. Spills down. It's been locked in. Underneath all of that, Dersma tackled there by a couple. Wines one way and Mead the other. Weed, Mead and Wines. Interesting drinking combination. Thrown up again. It comes down to Kelly for the Eagles. Got it to Baker, then to Dersma. Well, not a great hand pass under pressure from Richards. Mead involved again. Worked it out to Butters. Now to Richards. Will kick inside forward 50. That is beautifully worked. Durden out to mark. 45-degree angle from the left. He'll put boot to ball from 40 out.
Yeah, poor turnover inside that clearance. Bakes just tripped up and lost control of the ball. And this level of football, we don't need much in that traffic. Just need one good handball out and away you go.
Little applause you heard was from Craig Starcevich. Craig Starcevich, showing my age there. Brandon Starcevich coming off the ground. Here's Corey Durden. Goes across the 50 from 40 out. He misses. Wasn't far away, but missing to the left-hand side. Durden now with 17-9 for the season. Porter now 1-4-10. West Coast 2 straight 12. The Eagles by 2 points.
McCarthy from the kick out, able to find Waterman a long way from home. Handballs to Ginby up the wing. Couldn't quite get it to Davis. Made the best of it below his knees. Got it back to Waterman. Now Ginby receives by hand. Kicks down the southern wing. Champion cuts across. Couldn't outmark Butters, who played on immediately to Burn Jones. Gets it back. Kicks up towards Horne-Francis. Takes it on the half volley. Handball over the top to half forward. Little chip inside 50. Looking for Durden. Takes it on the bounce. Spins his man. Kicks inside. The mark is taken by... Look down there. Is it Moraes?
It is Moraes.
It is Moraes. Has it 25 metres out. Tight angle to the right.
Good centering kick there as well. Kept his feet.
Fifth mark inside 50 for Port Adelaide already. Christian Moraes. Just the one goal for the season. Trots in. A little pokey at the ball, but does not matter. He sends it into the Port Adelaide fans behind the goals at the Graham Farmer Freeway end. And Port Adelaide are back in front. Fourth lead change already tonight. 2-4-16 the visitors. The Eagles are 2 straight 12. 17 minutes travelled in the first term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Just some poor decision making here with the ball. West Coast going up the ground. It's not quite taking the right one and maintaining possession. I think if they can get that first kick right and get some overlap run from behind, they go straight through them. But they just haven't done that yet, and they've had a couple of poor turnovers.
19-year-old Christian Moraes, 21st game. AFL football. 4th goal at league level. 3rd lead change of the game. Ball back in the centre. Terrific contest so far. A bit of push and shove between Wines and, as Bailey Williams gets this and gets a clean clearance and immediately kicks inside forward 50. Shanahan went to ground. Spilled out the back. Duff Heitler able to turn it onto Cole. His kick was smothered. Lai did well. Goes in a second time to try to win it. Shanahan tackles him. Ball out the side between the legs of Radagalier. Cole tried to soccer it off the ground. Got it towards full forward. A chance to clear. Ware moved it out again. Burn Jones out towards Mead under real pressure from McCarthy. Got a hand pass away. It's just kept in play by Young. And he's tackled and wrapped up. Right up against the boundary, just shy of left half forward for the Eagles. Ball up the court. Cash voted are downstairs.
He's hidden from my view at the moment, but one to keep an eye on. Tim Kelly's just gone into that little treatment area of the interchange bench.
Sweet one it down to McKinlay. Kick down the line. Ginby out to mark for the Eagles. Just shy of the southern wing to McCarthy by hand. Pops a hand pass back to Young, and Young will switch play. Moving it all the way out to Allen, who marks it right half back for West Coast, who trail by 4 points.
Allen inside by foot to Baker. Umpire said not 15, play on. A little inconsistent already tonight. Forced to loop the handball to centre wing. Hoff off a step. Kicks up towards Shanahan v Radagalier. Radagalier did well. Won it at ground level. Handball to Moraes. The Eagles put the pressure back on. Richards' handball was knocked down. Baker went back in, won the ball. Handball out towards Yo. Pushed off it by Wines. Couple of balls going at it. Here's another. Lockie Jones trying to get the handball to Moraes. Little pass the outstretched arm. Off hands, out of bounds. Be tossed back in. Attacking side of the wing for the Eagles. 0437 774 774 if you want to join the conversation tonight. Sweet and Williams will go at it. Both rucks come up to meet it. Williams got in front, tapped it down. Cochrane couldn't take it. They wrap up the two rucks again. We'll toss it in the air once more. Almost 20 minutes travelled now in this first term. Beautiful night here in the west. Sweet front position, tapped it down straight though to Harley Reid. Quick handball to Marrick. Now to Allen, pushed off it by Richards, who goes back in for Port. Tries to win it, couldn't. Butters could. His handball a turnover though. The Eagles now, Dersma has a little bit of space on the wing. Kicks a little wobbler inside to Reid. Takes it on the bounce, steadies up. Has Tom Cole all on his own inside 50. Marks 45 metres out, 45-degree angle.
Did you notice there was absolutely no one on Harley Reid at that last stoppage? And then he was allowed to be completely free again afterwards.
I think he almost had a brain fade. He almost stopped like he marked it and then realised it bounced to him and then quickly turned.
Go out on a limb here. I reckon this is right on the edge of Coley's measure.
Tommy Cole, 2018 Premiership player, 29 years of age now. Spins the ball in his hands. This will give the Eagles a lift. Kicks from just inside 50. It's away to the left. He doesn't have the distance. It's marked on the line by Shanahan.
We can't let that happen.
He was right on the edge of his distance, Chris Waterman, because Shanahan marked it a couple inches in. He's going to go around the corner from the side angle to the left.
It's terrible defence.
A marking Job Shanahan would haunt Port Adelaide. He was the hero down the other end in their earlier meeting this year. He snaps around the corner on this occasion. Game save with a mark. Now a goal kicker up the other end this time. Job Shanahan has his first. The Eagles are back in front. Another lead change. 3 straight 18. Port Adelaide 2 for 16. 21 and a half travelled in the first term. The lights are on. On a clear and beautiful night here in Perth. Chris Waterman and Cara Antonio are here for ABC Sport.
Well, it was a great pass, wasn't it, from Tom Cole? But the 3 Port Adelaide defenders all pointing at each other. No one wanted to take responsibility.
That's what you call a coach killer.
Real poor defence, but nice finish. He almost hit the roof. He hit it that high. Almost bellied it, but nice finish.
And we always like to get stuck into the umpires, but well done to the goal umpire. Exactly the right position. Looked at it, saw down the line, nodded immediately. That's a mark.
No review.
Well done. Backed herself, got it in the absolute best position, including those in the arc. Well played to her. The restart. Sweet wins the tap down to himself. Immediately kicks inside forward 50. Spilled off hands to Mead. Tackled by Starcevic. Having to go back McCarthy. Pressure being applied here from Port. Marrick turns it over. Falls down there for Berry, who is able to run it through for a goal. West Coast just couldn't get a clearance away or a hand pass away to anyone in a better position. And the pressure was terrific from Port. And then that puts them back in front again. A 5th lead change of the evening. 3-4-22 Port. West Coast, 3 straight 18, 23 gone in the first.
Yeah, just great forward pressure. They had plenty of opportunities to get it out there, West Coast, and no one tried to get on the boot, and they just kept going and going, Port, and they snuck one through. Real good forward pressure.
Has big raps, Joe Berry. They have high hopes for him at Port Adelaide. Pick 15 in 2024. Maybe just starting to deliver on some of that promise this year. Ball back in the middle. Williams v Sweet. Williams gone up, taps it straight down to Kelly for the Eagles. High kick towards the 50, was hit late. It's going to be a down the field free kick. It'll go to Tom Cole. He was underneath the high ball, so closest to it. Has it in hands now for West Coast. Attacking edge of the centre square. Kicks to the pocket. Waterman's the target. Big fly, couldn't mark it. Ground level Drew. He's tackled immediately by Murdoch. We'll have a ball up right forward pocket for West Coast. Find themselves down by 4 points. Horn Francis, Harley Reid both circling. Hoff with Horn Francis. Ball up in the air. Williams tapped it down. Drew sharked it. Tumbles a kick outside defensive 50. Marrick. A one-on-one with Cochrane. Got away from him in the end. Then went to ground. Gathered the ball. Was taken high by an overzealous Whitlock who jumped on top of him. So a free kick to the Eagles. As the light blonde hair and the bright green boots. Ryan Marrick. Send the ball inside, forward 50. Looking for a marking target. Big fist from Aaliyah. Out to open space. Marrick will get it again at right half forward. Broke one tackle. Stepped around another. Caught by Richards. Holding the ball. Port Adelaide free kick just inside left half back. They lead by 4 points. Deep into red time in this first term.
Richards beyond defensive 50. He's spotted up Horne-Francis, who's got free. It's Harley Reid who stands the mark. Horne-Francis moves it short, inboard, not far enough to be a mark to Drew. He gets told to play on. Immediately under pressure by a hand to Horne-Francis. Shrugs off Kelly. Got a hand pass away to Butters. Strong from Horne-Francis. Butters across half back to Burn-Jones. Switches the kick towards right half back. Aaliyah marks and plays on, but turns it over, or almost. Cole couldn't quite trap it. Spilled out the side. A chance here to gather. Going long inside forward 50s, Evans, but he can't find a teammate. And Jinby left his opponent to come out to take the defensive mark. Great read. Well done, Ruben Jinby. What a season he's having for West Coast. Goes on a bit of a run. And kicks towards the southern wing for the Eagles. No mark taken there. Spills down to Aaliyah. Got it to Richards again. Murdoch got him. That's holding the ball. Well done, Milan Murdoch. West Coast with the free kick just forward of left half back. Port lead on the scoreboard by 4 points. 26 gone in the first. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Murdoch down the southern side. A little higher for Davis. Couldn't take the mark. Duff tightly came in. Handball just made it to Baker. He's immediately under pressure. Taken to ground and strong tackle by McKinlay. Ball up just inside the boundary on the outer side here. Very slight breeze. The flags blow above the southern stand. Sweet takes out of the ruck. Couldn't get it to Wine. Stolen by the Eagles. Dumped Tightler to Davis to Murdoch. Tight kick along the boundary. Finds Williams. 70 out from goal. Taking his time, Bailey J assesses the options. Now kicks a high ball inside forward. 50 at the back. Waterman was waiting for it, but again, Radaglia, another intercept mark. Has it deep in defence for the Power. Started this game well as Asava Radaglia goes up high. Back out the southern side. Sweet couldn't mark it at the back. Tap forward into the path of a Port Adelaide player in Berry. Had a fumble, then got it back. Got it to Jones. He's running into trouble. Handballs to Georgiades. Loops over the top to Cochrane, who's tackled by Starcevic. Taken over the line, and that is appreciated by the West Coast Eagles fans and his teammates into the side, making an immediate impact. So he tossed in 70 metres out from Port Adelaide's goal. They lead by 4 points.
Good crowd in towards about 40,000. Throwing in again. Controlling umpires spotted a free kick. Why is it going the way Port Adelaide? It's off the ball and off the ruck contest as well. It's Horne-Francis who has it. Goes looking for Georgiades. Spoil from Jinby at the back. Knocked back again by Davis. Got it to Kelly. Kicked around the body but could only find Horne-Francis once more. Dangerous kick inboard. Just got to Wines. Presence of Starcevic being felt. Wines was able to complete the mark. Attacking point of the centre square at right half forward. He'll put it back towards right full forward for Port. Bringing it down Bazzo. Umpire says it's a holding decision. It's going the way of Port again. Much to the chagrin of Bazzo out of all of that. This is an opportunity to go back and have a shot here. A chance for Whitlock in the right forward pocket.
I have to see the replay because I didn't see too much in that one. Ugh. Not much in it for mine.
They were grappling with each other. And Whitlock make it count for Port. Whitlock has pushed it across the face. Missing to the left-hand side. Port stretch their margin in front. They're 3-5-23 now. The Eagles are 3 straight 18 as we head towards the 29-minute mark of the first.
McCarthy will play on again from fullback. Kicks out to the northern side in front. Williams couldn't mark. Radaglia now first to the ball at ground level. Spins in a tackle. Handball to Maraes. 51 out. Kicks towards the top of the square. No mark taken. Berry at ground level. Stands up in a tackle. Snaps on goal and hits the post. Oh, it would have been something special for goal number 2 for Joe Berry. Instead, it's a minor score. 3-6-24 Port Adelaide. 3 straight 18 the Eagles. 29.5 played in the first.
They've still been trading goals so far, but Port are leading by 6 points, courtesy of those 6 behinds on the scoreboard. Off the hands of Shanahan at right half back. It's still down to Kelly. Kicks to Waterman, who marks between the northern wing and right half forward, and then kicked into Aliir, who smothers it. It ricochets off Alir's hands and over the boundary line for a throw-in. Closing stages of this opening term. Adelaide on their way to a 6th opening term win of 2026. Thrown back in again. Rucks will go at it. Williams got the front position. One down by Sweet, though. And that'll do us for a hugely entertaining opening quarter. The Eagles are behind, but their fans still give them a round of applause for the effort that they put in. It's been terrific to watch. Port Adelaide 3-6-24. They lead by 6 points over the Eagles, who are 3 straight 18. There have been 5 lead changes in the game so far. And for Port, their goal kickers, they're all individuals across both clubs. Berry, Moraes and Cochrane. First game of the year. Kicks the opening goal as well of the game. West Coast, Brady Hoff, Allen and Shanahan, the goal kickers for the Eagles. Earlier today, Brisbane won the Q Clash, their 23rd win in the Q Clash over the Suns by 31 points. Logan Morris kicking 7 goals there. And to start the day down in Bunbury, Fremantle with the biggest win in their history, belted North Melbourne by 124 points. But here at Perth Stadium, Port Adelaide lead by 6. Wherever you're listening on ABC Local Radio, News Radio, Sport Digital and streaming on ABC Listen, this is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
A young man vanishes and something about it doesn't sit right.
It made no sense.
I'm Rob Bergen. Join me for What Became of Jack, the new season of Unravel.
You know where my son is.
Search for the Unravel podcast on ABC Listen.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Ball outside, attacking 50 for the Eagles. Moraes runs over the top. Reid gets it to Marriott, to Cole, to Waterman. Tucks up against the boundary line. Bouncing ball beat Johnson. Hoff picks it up off the deck. Snaps on goal. Puts it through the middle. The unlikely first goal kick of Brady Hoff gets us going here at Perth Stadium. It's the 5th of his career.
Burgoyne moves it on again and finds Marshall. Hits him on the chest. Hard up against the boundary at right half forward, where the top of the 50, that's ignored. Kick stabbed into the right forward pocket. The mark taken again by Cochrane. He is busy in his first game of 2026. This will be his 3rd opportunity to have a shot at goal. It's tight in the right forward pocket. He'll be putting boots of war from about 45 out. Cochrane from a tight angle, right forward pocket, kicks the goal. Back in the team after an injury-hit start to 2026. Tom Cochrane kicks Port's first of the evening.
Murdoch chips it towards left half forward. Strong mark, Waterman. Out in front of Aliir. 60 out, he can kick it from here. Jake Waterman, he wheels around, kicks towards the top of the goal square. Big fly from Bo Allen. Marks over the top of the pack. Strong set of hands from the youngster. He'll go back 45-degree angle, 35 metres out, looking for the Eagles' 2nd goal. 2 goals for his career and this season. Bo Allen to finish off the good work. He sends it home. That delights the Eagles fans. They're back in front.
Sweet wins the tap down to himself. Immediately kicks inside forward 50. Spilled off hands to me. Tackled by Starcevic. Going to go back McCarthy. Pressure being applied here from Port. Marrick turns it over. Falls down there for Berry, who is able to run it through for a goal. West Coast just couldn't get a clearance away or a hand pass away to anyone in a better position, and the pressure was terrific from Port, and then that puts them back in front again.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio,
ABC Sport Digital Radio
and ABC Listen.
The WA Freeze is currently taking place here at Perth Stadium, and we've just seen Jesse Wagstaff. What is he, 6-time NBL champion? Yeah, amazing. Looking like Gru from Despicable Me get dunked as the funds continue to be raised for the fight against MND, and we're looking forward, as always, to Monday. Have all the coverage here on ABC Sport. The King's birthday game, the big freeze between Collingwood and Melbourne, and nice to see big freezes taking place right around the rest of the country to try and continue to raise funds in memory of Neil Danaher and everything he did in the fight against MND. Clint Wilden with you. Mitch Turner is alongside me. Port Adelaide lead by 6 points. The last game of Saturday. Let's find out what our experts think. Cara Antonio and Chris Waterman on ABC Sport.
Well, love the start from West Coast. Loved their come forward pressure, their intent, energy at the ball, and kicked obviously the first couple. But just their forward connection for me lacks. Radagalia 4 marks and Aaliyah the 2, just intercepting everything going in. Port Adelaide for mine, better shape at ground level and contest, a win in the ground ball battle, clearance battle and contested battle. So just look a bit more dangerous when they're getting the ball inside forward 50 and they look like they're going to score every time. Left a few out there with the 3-6. Probably should be a couple more goals ahead.
Yeah, West Coast are lucky they're only 6 points down. Yeah, the contested possessions and the clearances just show that they were a bit gritty at Port around the contest, and West Coast just need up the ante there, particularly Elliot Yeo, who hasn't got his fingers on the ball just yet. Kelly's got 10, I think. Harley had one of his quieter quarters, but still managed 6 possessions, but just need a bit more ascendancy through the midfield.
Nice little moment. Harley Reid tried to help up Zach Butters.
I saw that.
Quarter, and Zach Butters said, no thanks, and pulled the arm away. Clearance count is going the way of Port in that first quarter, 11-8. They lead the contested possessions by 14 as well. The inside 50s, 14-11 Port's way. Individually, Tim Kelly has 10 to the Eagles, most on the ground. McCarthy and Marriott with 7 apiece. For Port Adelaide, Butters has 8. Horn Francis, Radagalia and Mead with 7. There's Port Adelaide at quarter time by 6 points.
An interesting bit of byplay at times between Butters, who is standing alongside Harley Reid again. Now, that is a match-up as well. I was hoping for Horn Francis, but they decided at this moment that they'd put others on that little challenge. But the 2 number 9s, 2 of the biggest names in the game, stand alongside each other just outside the centre circles as we get ready for a start in this second quarter. Sweet stares across to Bailey J. Williams. He certainly won the ruck battle in that opening term. Sweet dominated the hit-outs. We know Bailey J has been in good form. He'll be able to hit back in this term. Port lead by 6 points. Second term underway. Williams wins it down for West Coast. Went out after it again. Couldn't gather. Socket off the ground by Yeo towards right half forward. Jones dropped the mark. Burns-Jones able to gather. Worked it out to Evans. Kick back towards the wing. Here's Berry for Port. Gathers and kicks down the line. It tumbles past centre wing. Trying to race onto it. Richard looked to tap it to the advantage of Marshall. Stolen away by the Eagles. Baker. By hand. Gave it to Kelly. He's able to work it forward to Murdoch, who takes the mark. He was up against Sweet. There's a mismatch in height. Worked it on to Dersma. Hand pass to Reid at centre half forward. Oh, Jones got him. Just got the hand pass out. Great tackle. Spilled down to Starcevic. Jones onto him as well, holding the ball. Tough, but not enough effort to get rid of it, according to the official. And Jones will climb up off the deck and have it just inside his defensive 50. Port by 6 points, opening 60 seconds of the second term.
They come out wide, Port Adelaide, to Evans. Holden wing, just below our commentary position. Called to move on, looks inside, runs himself into trouble. Johnson on the mark, did well, smothered it. Ricochets down to Davis for the Eagles. On hands and knees, handballs it to Dersma. His handball turned over Butters. Gave it straight back though to the Eagles. Starcevic to Davis, to Reid. Steps inside one, back to Butters. It's turnover football. Inside now to Sweet. The ruckman goes for a little trot. Handball to Burns-Jones. Forward handball for Port Adelaide. Ends up with Drew. Now Burgoyne attacking side of the centre square. Goes down to the lead of Cochrane. It goes out of bounds and is just outside the 50. So it will be a last disposal free kick for the West Coast Eagles. Tyler Young has it at the junction at right half back. Called to play on. Kicks down the southern side and no pressure at all as Lockie Jones takes the mark unopposed in the end. Just stood there, took it without any pressure. Kicks it back inside forward 50, looking for a mark in front. Young did well for West Coast. He's found a bit of form at his new home. The former Tiger, he has it just inside right half back.
Port's lead 6 points, 2 and a bit gone in the second. Kick towards the outer wing. Big pack up off hands. Murdoch thought he was being held without it by Radagalia. Umpires thought different. Port go back inside forward 50. Jinby couldn't mark. Did well, though, to gather it a second time off the deck. Then to Kelly. Kicks towards left half back. Beautifully weighted. Johnston marks. Harvey Johnston with it. Couple of metres in from the boundary. Sends it back to Starcevic with the 50s painted on the ground at left half back. Thought about going forward, then heard the shout behind him to Bazzo. That's where the kick goes. Not a great kick out towards Young. Bounce past him. McKinlay provides pressure. They're both over the top of it. Young gathers. He's in strike here, Young. It's going to be held in. Umpire says it is a ball up. Held in enough, according to the officials. Cochrane was lurking. Thrown up again. Williams palmed it down. Stolen by Richards of Port. Immediately kicks towards left full forward. Punch game from Bazzo. Got the fist over it in a pack of about 6. It's across the boundary line at left full forward for Port. 3-6-24 the power. The Eagles 3 straight 18. 3.5 gone second term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner in commentary.
Port Adelaide by 6. No change to that quarter-time score. Shallow throw-in. Dropped by Williams. Came to Allen. He was dispossessed. Sweet spun through traffic. Got a foot on it inside the goal square. Stacks on now. Players crash in. We'll have a ball up inside Port Adelaide's attacking goal square. We'll push and shove around the edges. Players clear. Tossed up in the air. Sweet tapped it. Straight to an eagle. Allen ends up with it. Slipped on his own goal line. Managed to compose himself. The kick, though, is a shocker. Straight to Durden. Gathers. Steps around Baker. Kicks on goal. It's just left. They've had some chances, Port Adelaide. It's another minus score. They are 3-7-25. The Eagles are 3 straight 18. 10 scoring shots to 3. 4 minutes played in the second term. Saturday night footy, ABC Sport.
And that's a bullet dodge for West Coast. Starcevic with the kicking duties. Oh, sweet goes. But Williams read it better from behind. In the best position, flew and marked. Has it at left half back. Steers it out closer to the boundary line to Young, who'll stab it forward to McCarthy, who marks. Decides to play on a bit of a run. Moves it short to the logo. Here's Murdoch marking. McCarthy runs by. That hand pass option ignored. Murdoch looks to move it on with a kick long towards left half forward. Pack of 4 up. No mark taken. Lai got a hand pass away to Evans, then to Burn-Jones. Now on to Butters, to Drew by hand, to Sweet. His hand pass intercepted to Dersma. Oh, hospital hand pass to Baker. Did really well to ride the tackle of Evans. Got it back to Dersma. His hand pass turned over again. Turnover City as it moves towards right half forward. McKinlay works it across half forward. Came to Georgiades. On again to Marshall. He moves it short to Richards from left half forward. Kicks inside, attacking 50. Horn Francis marks. All from the turnover on the northern wing. Port with an opportunity to have a shot at goal off the boot of Horn Francis. 50 out, about 45-degree angle to the left.
They're just shooting themselves in the foot, the Eagles. Yeah. Over handballing, poor decisions, and Port Adelaide just pouncing on the opportunity.
Hasn't been glamorous footy from both teams this first 4 minutes.
Mason Horn Francis wiped the sweat from his brow. Twirls the yellow Sherrin around in his hands. He's on his way in. Kicks from 45 metres out. He puts it through for Port. Back-to-back goals in the game for the first time for either of the clubs, and it goes the way of the visitors. Port Adelaide 4-7-31. The Eagles 3 straight 18. It's a 13-point lead, the biggest of the game to Port. 6.5 minutes into the second term. Our experts on ABC Sport here at Perth Stadium, Chris Waterman and Cara Antonio.
Well, it's turnover city, mainly from West Coast. But, they continually let, even though they are a couple of goals in front, Port, they've let West Coast off the hook big time. West Coast just need to get ball to boot and keep moving them forwards, just over possessing the ball in the midfield.
What do you think about the move we've seen a lot when Horn Francis pushes forward like that? Match up with Starcevic.
He's dangerous. He's a nice set shot.
Yeah, probably don't want him leading up like that too much. He's having a rest on the bench. Tell you what, we had about 7 handballs then. I reckon there was 1 effective at one stage. Ball back in the middle. Reid gathers for the Eagles. Got it to Yo. Cleverly tapped it to his advantage. Now kicks inside forward 50. Over the head of the outstretched arms of Lai. Ball's turned over though. Murdoch gathers on his right foot. Kicks towards centre half forward. Couldn't find a target. Richards comes away with it. Through the middle of Perth Stadium. 1 bounce. 2 bounce. Kicks inside forward 50. Looking to Georgiades. 1v1 with Jimby. Gets away from Jimby, who came back well and laid the tackle. Terrific effort by the Eagles defender. 1v1 and a juicy matchup, and they get the ball out of bounds, the Eagles. 6 inside 50s to 1 for the quarter, though, for Port Adelaide. We'll set up around this stoppage as it'll be spun back into play by the umpire. Sweet in front of Williams. Williams managed to work his way in the front in the end. Ball came, though, to Butters. Looping handball over the top to a teammate. Sold him into trouble under all of that. Tackled in the end was Jacob Ware. Ball tossed up in the air. Sweet down in front. Can't find a teammate. Murdoch sharked it for the Eagles. Ball bobbling outside 50 for Port Adelaide. Socket forward by Drew. Young gathered for the Eagles. Handball to Dersma, whose kick misses the target of Champion. Goes out of bounds on the wing. It'll be coming back Port Adelaide's way.
And they'll have the free kick at left half forward. Jones back in the team this week. Puts Port into the left forward pocket. Through the hands of Georgiades at the back. Spilled to Bazzo of the Eagles. Got it onto McCarthy. Tackled by Burgoyne over the line. Throw in deep in the left forward pocket here for Port Adelaide.
Pressure from Port is immense. West Coast just can't get any free ball going.
4-7 plays 3 straight. Visitors in front. Power over the Eagles. Early stages, second quarter. Throwing back in. Sweet palmed it down again. Drew almost was able to gather. Left it behind him. Had to turn over and try to gather it a second time. It's been locked in on the deck. Dersma, the last player up. Hoff and Butters continue to battle away. Pushing and shoving. Sweet beautifully palmed it down to McKinlay. His kick was smothered. Went to Johnston of the Eagles. Now to McCarthy. He was at centre half back. Moves it on to Duggan at left half back. Comes down towards Shanahan, who marks centre wing. Runs between the interchange benches after he completes the mark.
Now kicks up towards half forward. Floating back, though, another intercept mark. Guess who? Radaglia. It's about his 4th already tonight. He goes back inside defensive 50 to Evans, who kicks up middle of centre half back to Drew. Handball to Richards. Port Adelaide trying to work it by hand through the middle. Drew receives it again. Now spears a kick up the middle to Marshall. Has it just beyond centre half forward. Goes on his left. Chips inside 50. A great kick at the end to Ware, who takes the mark. 45 metres out. Slight angle to the left. Might be just inside his range. Evans ran past for the handball. He ignores it. Looks like he'll take the 30 and take the set shot. Jacob Ware, the former Giant, playing in his 50th game tonight. Makes his approach. Kicks from 52 metres out. It's a nice looking strike. It's across the face. Big pack flies. No mark taken off hands. Kick was smothered from Murray's. Ball comes back into play the way of the Eagles. The clearing kick landed on the chest of Radaglia. Dropped the easiest intercept he's had all night. Players crashing on top of him, and it'll be balled up right half forward for Port Adelaide. 10 minutes gone in the second term. They lead by 13 points.
Put Cole in the green and gold as the goalkeeper. Great stop, last line of defence. Port work it back inside forward 50, and they've got a free kick as well. Umpire onto the task straight away. It's thrown back to Marshall. He's going to have a shot about 45 out. He'll start in line with the right hand behind post.
Again, not too sure what that one was for, and I haven't seen the replay, but they haven't really made West Coast pay Port Adelaide in front of goals tonight. 4-7.
A slight nudge in the back in the marking contest. Marshall with the free kick on his way in, and he steers it through. Just sneaking it inside the left upright. Port have got their 5th goal. 5-7-37 to the Eagles' 3 straight 18. West Coast have not scored in this quarter so far. We've gone 12 minutes into the second. Port's lead is out to 19 points. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Well, they've absolutely dominated this game. It's 10-1 inside 50s. That's why West Coast haven't scored. They are getting monstered around the ball. Midfield is just dominating, and they are overlapping. They are nearly 300 metres gained over the top of West Coast. So it's just getting your hands on the ball and getting tough around the contest and start winning the ball back.
Tough Tyler into the middle for the Eagles. Will be rucking against Whitlock. All tossed up in the air. Duff Tyler got a hand to it. Coming through, unable to take it was Harley Reid. Whitlock crashes back in. Duff Tyler on top of him. We'll ball it up again. Zach Butters now up to 12 touches. Ball comes down. Horn Francis, the clearing kick out to the southern wing. Bouncing ball. Burgoyne leads the race. Now Young beats him there, though. Handballs it forward to Cole for the Eagles. Had a spill, then gathered and was tackled by Burgoyne. Ball up on the southern side of Perth Stadium. Tim Kelly, 12 for West Coast. He's their best. Duff Tyler got a palm down. Marrick couldn't take it initially, then coughed it up to Port Adelaide. Wines, clever little handball to Whitlock. Spearing kick towards Georgiades on the lead. Marks out in front of Jinby. Probably a touch too far out to score it left half forward. Instead goes short laterally to Mead. Barely the 15. You can tell by the Eagles crowd they're not happy. Mead goes laterally into the middle of the ground to Ware. They're going backwards and across. Ware to Burn-Jones, who inside the centre square. Every single Eagles player inside 70 metres defensively. Burn-Jones says, stuff it, I'm going to kick it in there anyway. Goes high, goes long, and Yo takes the mark. You have 18 there. You'd hope one of them gets it, and Yo did just that. The Eagles have it. They trail by 19 points, 14 gone in the second, not the last.
Yo beyond defensive 50. Dersma set himself, didn't quite get a hand to it, spins away and over the boundary line for a throw-in. 0437 774 774. If you'd like to send us a text, Leon and Renee listening in Miles in Queensland, Western Downs in Queensland. I had to actually look up where Miles was, I'll be honest. Thrown in again. Down here by the Eagles. Duff Tyler got his hand to it. Horn Francis out after it. Tackled by Kelly. Ball up at right half forward again. Continuing to dominate this. Dersma tries to get a hand pass out of traffic. Drew lost it and fell over backwards. Here is champion. Shrugged off the tackle of Evans. Did really well. Worked it on towards Allen. Comes short with the kick and finds Waterman, who marks. He's still on the northern wing. The inboard foot pass to Dersma. It opens up in front of him. Goes on a run and sends it towards full forward. Front position, Ratugolea. Brought it to ground. Couldn't mark. Burn-Jones tries to gather. Marrick was there. Set upon immediately by Mead. Locks it in. Ball up inside the Eagles forward 50. Feels a long time since we've been down this side of the ground. The Farmer Freeway end. Ball put back up into the air.
Duff Tyler taps it down to Waterman. Trying to break through traffic. Door was closed by a couple of power players. Comes to Dersma. He spun. Somehow got rid of the ball. Not sure that was legal. Bo Allen dives in for West Coast on top. He's tackled. We'll have another ball up. Might have been the old one-handed handball from Willem Dersma. He got away with it, the number one pick. He circles this pack as Duff Tyler can't find a teammate with a tap. Wines couldn't take possession. Champion is tackled by Lye. Kelly picks it up. Gives it to Dersma. Gets it back to Kelly. Snap around the body. Inside 50. Waterman. The son of a gun comes out and takes the mark. Now wants to go back and finish his work. This has been the part that has left him a little bit this year. He'll have the set shot 35 metres out, slight angle to the left. The catch Fodadar downstairs.
Malachi Champion quite sore after that last contest. He's just limped off and is talking to the doctors on the bench now.
Jake Waterman, as the modern way is, will snap around the body. He curls it through. The Eagles get their fourth goal. Jake Waterman has his first. They get one back on the visitors. The Eagles are 4 straight 24. Port Adelaide are 5-7-37. 17 minutes played in the second term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. You like the snap there, Muddy?
No, I didn't.
I didn't think you would. That's why I said the modern way.
But the ball came in to that long contest and it bounced, came off hands and landed directly in front. And no one's there for West Coast. That's where Malachi Champion has got to get better. He's got to learn more about this game. He's there to do a job and crumb, and the ball comes directly to the front and they don't have anyone there. But a little bit better. They managed to get a little bit of hold on. They held onto the ball moving up the ground and found a way in. When they got it in, they locked it back in there.
Just their second inside 50 for the term. Port's had 11, but they're able to convert it into a major. Port will get the clearance here again. Butters kicks towards centre half forward. No mark taken. Allen onto it for the Eagles. Gathered. Flick the hand pass to no one in particular. Trying to get back there, Richards for Port. Davis applies pressure. He's with him as well, locking the ball in. Umpire says we'll ball it up between centre wing and right half forward for Port Adelaide. Northern side of the ground. Haley J. Williams slaps it down. Butters got there first for Port. Went back by hand to Burn-Jones. Now to Horne-Francis. Was able to get away from Dersma. Hand passes into the middle of the ground to Wines. Kicks inside forward 50. It's allowed to bounce. Young was there. Oh, terrible hand pass. Meant to find Duggan. Instead, Durden was there. Duggan did really well. Went back and won it for the Eagles. Gave it to Marek, who spears it beyond defensive 50 to Waterman, who marks.
Terrific defensive work by the co-captain of the Eagles, and Jake Waterman's kick not on the same page as the intended target. Gave it straight to Alir, who kicks it up towards left half forward. The mark is taken by Georgiades, who turns, fires in a pass, and it's cut off brilliantly by the other co-captain, Liam Baker. Durden was on the lead. Baker reeled it in with one hand. Two-time premiership Tiger, now best and fairest winner and captain for the Eagles. Kicks it out to the southern side. Big Pat, no mark taken. Free kick going the way of Dersma, though. Infringed in the contest. We'll have the free kick, defensive side of that southern wing. Disposal number 16. His kick smothered Dersma straight to the man of the mark. Burn-Jones wins it as well. Smothered it and then won it. Gets it to Durden. Runs. Takes a bounce. The kick inside 50 is a shocker. And Jinby, don't give him a chance. He'll read it best. He intercepts and goes laterally to Duggan, the left back pocket, who can chip over the top to left half back where McCarthy marks.
They lead by 13, but they could be much further in front, Port, if they'd taken their chances. McCarthy goes back to Duggan at full back. The co-captain looks right, looks left again, and that's where he'll go with the kick. He finds McCarthy once more. Goes beyond defensive 50. Johnston marks. One in front of Jones. He's playing to earn it too. Got up and stabbed the pass to Hoff. Hoff just on the edge of the centre square. Towards the centre circles to Kelly, who marks and had time to play on. Flares it out towards right half forward. Cole went up and he'll get a free kick. Being pushed in the marking contest. He'll be taken around to be over the mark. The Port player is still down. I think it's Ware. Eagles fans aren't happy that he wasn't allowed to continue on. It is Ware on his haunches after that contest.
Not sure on Kelly's decision to go out wide just before. He had a one-on-one deep as well. Get the ball in long. Now you've allowed Port Adelaide to get all their numbers back.
Also the issue with Cole being unable to take his kick because of the free kick quickly, that it has allowed every Port player to go back inside their defensive 50. What will he do with it? From right half forward, he'll set it up to the teeth of goal. Shanahan flew, couldn't mark at the back, spilled to Drew, to Burgoyne, to Burn-Jones, and he kicks Port out towards left half back. Oh, Durden, great mark on the run. Dragged it in one-handed, worked it out to Whitlock, hands it back to Durden, continues a run, takes a bounce, runs to left half forward, pops it inside forward 50, Georgiades. Marks, turns around, will pop it to Berry, marks at left full forward. Eagles fans are incensed because they didn't get the early chance to have a shot or move it inside forward 50 because it had to come back to Cole for the free kick. But they flew down the outer wing, Port Adelaide.
They also had no representation at the fall of the ball, the Eagles, and Port Adelaide pounced and ran. Really tough position for Jimby to be in as well, one-on-one ahead of the footy. Nice tick lead up from Georgiades.
Radagales had to come off the ground with what I think is a blood rule. Here's Berry looking for his second. He snaps truly from left full forward. Berry's got a couple, much to the annoyance of the Eagle supporters who feel that they were wronged a short time ago. It won't matter. It's on the scoreboard and Port's lead is back to 19 points. 6-7-43 to the Eagles, 4 straight 24, 22 gone in the second. That was flowing football from Port Adelaide. A cash voted is downstairs.
You're right, Clint. It is a blood rule from Radaglia. Just a bit of blood coming from the back of his head. I think he copped a knee from Job Shanahan. And in that same marking contest, Jake Waterman copped one in the nose, and the doctor ran out to him, but he brushed him off. And just an update on Malachi Champion as well. It looks like a corky. He's done some run-throughs on the boundary, and I'd expect he should come back on.
You're upset, Eagles fans. Blame Corey Durden. That was a brilliant bit of work on that outer side to set that goal up. Ball back in the middle. Port Adelaide win the clearance. Big shoe forward by Sweet. High ball, no mark taken. Free kick going the way of Young. He was held. Cochrane had hold of him. Free kick to the Eagles. Big kick out towards Horne-Francis and Reid. And Horne-Francis wins possession, ushered over the boundary line. That's the matchup that Clint wants. I know Clint was in Adelaide, watching them go head-to-head a couple of years ago. Was it last year?
Last year. It's fantastic.
Made a lot of headlines. It was great to watch. And you had a front row seat as you see Radaglia walking around to the race right in front of this contest. Toss back in. Sweet managed to knock it down to Wines, who's tackled by Kelly and Reid. So Radaglia obviously getting a bit more treatment.
It's part of the theatre of football. You want to see the big balls go head-to-head.
Absolutely loved it. They're both around this contest. Harley Reid ends up with it. Handball to Hoff for West Coast. Kick up towards left half forward over the outstretched arms of Jones. Lands in the hands of Yo. Kicks into the goal square. Waterman, dropped a mark he should have taken. He positioned himself well. Got out the back of Leah. And then dropped the simplest of marks, Jake Waterman. Oh, that's as easy as it'll get for Jakey. Ball's rushed through for a minor score margin. Now 18 points as Port bring it back in.
Kicking towards the wing. Jinby coming the other way. Great mark for West Coast. Glance to his right. Nothing doing on there. Can take a couple of steps, and with the left sends it inside forward. Here's Waterman who marks this one. Safe hands that time. Got dealt with afterwards as well by Jones. He gets up though. We'll go back to take the kick. 45-degree angle to the left, booting it from 40 out. How you feeling now, Muddy?
This should be a drop punt. No question. There's one reason that Cara and I just had a look at the stats. Harley Reid's only had the 3 possessions in the midfield this quarter. I'm not sure he's being tagged. He's just not having the influence that we'd like, or that we've come to see.
Jake Waterman looking for his second of the evening. We're behind the kick. It's an absolute flower bag, but it's found its way through the big sticks.
Flower bag, all right.
That was the sort of helicopter that you could jump in and take the Rotto. But it went where he wanted it to go. And the Eagles fans care not how it looks, because they're worth all the same on the scoreboard. The Eagles had their 5th. Port's lead is back to 12. Port 6-7-43. West Coast 5-1-31. Port lead by 12 points. 26 gone in the second.
He turned his back on it in disgust before it even went through Jake Waterman.
I was watching the celebrations as well. He was almost like, yeah, it was a goal.
He turned his back in shame almost.
It's a good lead, good mark.
Great connection piece. Great kick to the foot.
Off the chin.
It's the most disappointing goal kicker you've ever seen. Jake at 6 points. Lift your head, let the mullet fly. Ball back in the middle. Comes out the way of Port Adelaide. Butters tackled. Got a handball away. Pushing the back. No. Play on call. Going the way of the Eagles. Harley Reid. Handball knocked down by Burne-Jones. Did well. The All-Australian. Got it out to Burgoyne. Now to Butters. Takes a bounce on the southern side. Loops the handball over to Burgoyne. Now to Richards. Looping handball forward. Jinby there to usher it out of bounds. No. Boundary line beating, which is a good sign for the Eagles because it was a handball. It's a free kick to the Eagles. It has to be Ruben Jinby's free kick because he actually had the ball in his hands, but he's gone to the umpire and letting Harley Reid take it, who against Ruben Jinby might be All-Australian this year. Harley's a better kick of the footy. He goes inboard, just beyond right half back to McCarthy. Tom McCarthy takes his time, goes for a little run and chips it short to Baker. Still defensive side of that outer wing now. McCarthy takes off. Gets the handball received. Kicks it further up the wing to Marrick. Patient with the ball in hand. Waiting for an option. Now kicks a fairly high ball inside forward. 50 in front. Good mark, Evans. Opposed to Duff Tytler. Took the mark for Port Adelaide. One of those players with the bright green boots has the shoulder strapped and spins the ball in his hands in the left back pocket as he goes down the southern side.
Big pack underneath it at left half back for Port. Off hands at the back. It's spilled to Jinby. Sent it back from whence it came. Attacking it, Duff Titler. Spilled out to Waterman. Hand pass over the top to Johnson. Mead involved. Getting in the way of Lear. Did well. Gave it back to Lai. Hand pass under pressure to Jones. Got the arms free for Port. Set it back again to Ware. Kicks beyond defensive 50. That is a good mark. Leaping up Georgiades. And tells everyone just to calm down for a second after some frenetic football. He'll steer it forward to Evans. Marks hard up against the boundary. Still at left half back. And he'll move it on by foot to Burgoyne. Marking again. Pauses. The lead was from Drew. That's honoured. He marks just on the outer edge of the logo. Southern wing of Perth Stadium. Kicks Port Adelaide. Oh, and turns it over. He was heading towards left half forward, but only found Baker. And all but an uncontested mark for the Eagles co-captain. Has it at right half back. Still a 12-point lead for Port. 28 minutes gone in the second. Kick back towards the southern wing. Williams marks for the Eagles. Turns and kicks inside forward 50. One-on-one battle. Jones against Duff Titler. Jones tapped it down. Out after it is Alier. He tried to gather, got tackled, dropped it. Umpires pay incorrect disposal. That's interesting. It's a tough call, but Waterman effected the tackle, gets the free kick, and then spots up Kelly, who marks in line with the right hand behind post, 45 out from goal.
Good contest by young Cooper Duff Tyler. All he had to do was bring it to the ground and hang in there and wait for the troops to come.
Well, having a look again, that's the right decision, holding the ball. He had a chance to get rid of it and just dropped it, tried to flick it out underneath his left elbow. Ali. Good tackle from Waterman in the end. Here's Tim Kelly, 47 metres out, drives it towards goal. He's missed to the left-hand side, bringing the Eagles to within 2 goals now. Port's lead 11 points, 29 gone in the second term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Here's Mitch Turner.
Might not have time to score here, Port Adelaide, unless they go end-to-end in a flash. And bring the ball back into play. Long towards the northern wing. It's a high ball. Big pack forms. Bailey Williams takes the mark. Has to go quick for the Eagles. Time is against them. Kicks a high ball inside forward. 50. No mark taken. Clearing kick, Port Adelaide. And there is the siren. 2 quarters of football in the book here at Perth Stadium. We've got a good game on our hands. Tight contest. It's Port Adelaide 6-7-43 who lead the Eagles 5-32. They led them by 8 points at half-time earlier this year. They lead them by 11 points in this meeting.
Before we go through everything else, Cash Vodadar, what have you got for us downstairs?
Just an update on Asaba Radikalia. So he went down to the rooms. It was just to have some stitches in his head, and he did not undergo an HIA, so all clear on the concussion front.
That's good news for Port Adelaide and Asaba Radikalia. So the goal kickers look like this. Joe Berry's got a couple for Port. The others, Marshall, Moraes, Horne-Francis and Cochrane in his first game of the season kicked the opening goal of the game. For West Coast, Jake Waterman's got a couple, and Brady Hoff, Bo Allen and Job Shanahan, the other goal kickers for the Eagles. Port Adelaide 6-7-43 to West Coast 5-2-32. We'll hear from experts in just a second, but just repeating, earlier today at Carrara, Brisbane Lions won their 23rd Q Clash. Logan Morris kicked 7 goals as Brisbane prevailed over the Suns by 31 points to end a 3-game losing streak. 15-16, 106 to the Suns, 11-9, 75. While in Bunbury, the Dockers with their biggest ever win and their longest stretch of unanswered goals as well. They kicked 19 to go all the way to full time. 24-11, 155 to North Melbourne's 4-7-31. So Freo by 124 points. And they'll go impressively 14 points clear of 3rd spot, which for the WA club so important to lock in a top 2 finish if they are to try to press for a premiership. They're up and about Freo. They've won 12 straight. This has been a great contest here at Perth Stadium. Port Adelaide lead by 11 points. It hasn't been all that pretty at times, but there's a lot to like about the endeavour, and it remains right up for grabs. Chris Waterman and Cara Antonio, our experts on ABC Sport.
Well, you only have to look at the inside 50s. It's 30-20. And that tells the story of that last quarter when at one point it was 10-1. West Coast just could not get their hands on the ball. But Port have left the door open here. They got some goals in a row there, but that was on the back of 6 points in the first quarter. The one negative they'd be looking at right now, after dominating pretty much the first half, Cara, is they're only 11 points in front, which is a bonus for West Coast. They've got something they can pull out here, but they just need to get. They're a bit fumbly. They're not quite going about the right way. Making some silly mistakes. And the game is right open. We predicted it was going to go to the wire, and it looks like if it continually does, mainly on the back of the first 5 minutes of that quarter was just horrible footy. Turnovers and handballing to each. They were handballing to each other. It was like a little training drill out there. But yeah, Harley Reid, West Coast would like to see him get back involved in the game. Elliot Yeo gets some more. Well, he didn't have a possession the first quarter, had 4 then. Just not enough from him. And Butters 16. Burn Jones is getting a bit sweeping across half back, and Horn Francis has had his 10 and had a shot on goal, so he's having his impact. But I think the bloke that's really dominating is the hit-outs. When you look at that, is Jordan Sweet. He's dictating terms at all the clearances at the moment, Cara.
Yeah, you're right. And I thought, as much as it was a bit chaotic for the first little part of that quarter, Port Adelaide just looked cleaner when the ball was out in space and they were able to pounce and win the ground ball battle. And really, yeah, they've left, as you mentioned, the door wide open for the Eagles. They've kept them definitely in it. I thought there was better connection, though, from the Eagles that last kind of 6 to 8 minutes. They were able to get repeat stoppage inside forward 50, and that just allows your backs to take a breather and allow them to set up. And a number of connection little pieces looked a little bit better. So as much as it was frantic and the pressure was high, I think that last little bit, Eagles go into the break still with a little bit of a sniff and knowing that they've got a little bit of momentum and a lot of improvement, that's for sure. I think Tim Kelly's gone to work inside. He's been really, really good. He's had 4 clearances and 17 touches, 7 of those contested. But really it's about being clean, about making the right decision when pressure comes, and at the moment Port Adelaide have been better in that domain than the Eagles, and it's showing on the scoreboard. So yeah, Muddy, as you mentioned, it could have been a completely different story at half time, but Port Adelaide only lead by the 11 points. So be interesting to see what both coaches and both sides do and change and adapt, and the messaging coming into this second half.
Yeah, it's just going to be, hopefully it's going to get better skill-wise. I get the feeling it's not. There's going to be more turnovers. It's just who can adapt to the turnovers. At the moment, Port just take off. When there's a turnover, they get goal side and they're off and going. Whereas West Coast are very stop-start. They need to get some more flow through the midfield, play on a bit more and take on and see how good Port are on running defence. But, yeah, I'm not sure we're going to see a marked improvement in game standard. I think we're seeing what we're seeing, and the second half will be similar. It's just who's going to be in front at the end.
I thought that first quarter when Eagles went forward,
they looked clean.
They did, and they weren't overthinking it, and they got it in to their isolated forwards, whereas that quarter they were just breaking down at half forward. And obviously Waterman's that link player, but then there's nothing next. And that's their downfall, I think. But what I'd like to see is if their shoulders are out and they've got grass ahead of them and they've got 1v1s, kick it to the 1v1s and get your smalls to turn up, get your talls to bring it to ground, or at least make a contest and get your smalls involved. They just overcomplicated, went back inside, switched lanes, and it allows the defence to then set up. So just a little bit more faster, exciting footy for mine from the Eagles, and you never know what can happen.
A bit more trust in their teammates is what they require, and play more forward football. I mean, they're just over handballing. Just need to get it down there and see what happens.
It hasn't been pretty.
No, it hasn't.
But it's still a genuine contest, and hopefully if the players can improve their disposal efficiency, it might get better to watch. There was one lovely goal down the outer side scored by Port Adelaide. That was flowing footy, but Port would be, I'd say they'd be kicking themselves about their 6-7, but they'd probably miss the way they've gone in front of goal at the moment. 6-7-43 the Power, 5-2-32 the Eagles. That is half time A couple of other scores quickly to bring you in the WAFL for our listeners here in the West. The win to Perth by 20 points over Subiaco, 12-3-75 to Subi 7-13-55. West Coast Waffle side beat Claremont by 10 points, 16-11-107 to Claremont 5-7-97. And Peel Thunder were too good to Swan Districts, 14-11-95 to 4-9-33. Let's pause here from Perth Stadium at half-time and take the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. The Palestinian Health Ministry says Israeli troops have shot and killed a 7-month-old Palestinian baby boy after firing at his parents' car in the occupied West Bank. Larry Buttrose has the story.
The ministry says the infant was killed and his parents wounded while they were driving from Bethlehem to visit family in Hebron. The official Palestinian news agency says the infant was shot in the face by the same bullet that also injured his mother, and he later died. His father, a lecturer at Bethlehem University, was shot in the hand. Israel says troops opened fire after a car appeared to accelerate toward them. The Israeli military has intensified operations in the West Bank since the Gaza war began. The UN says more than 1,000 Palestinians have been killed in the West Bank and East Jerusalem since then, at least 240 of them children.
A man has died after being bitten by a shark off Western Australia's south coast, the second fatal shark for the state in less than a month. Charlotte Hamlin has more.
The 35-year-old man was spearfishing with family at Michaelmas Island near Albany when he was attacked by a reported 4.5-metre shark. He was rushed back to shore and treated by paramedics but could not be revived. Local man Archie Smith was fishing nearby.
It's definitely very scary, pretty shocking, yeah. Good reminder to always be careful and stuff.
It comes 3 weeks after 38-year-old Stephen Mataboni was killed by a shark while spearfishing off Rottnest Island.
And Western Australia's Premier says he was deeply saddened to hear of the attack in Albany. In a statement, Roger Cook said his thoughts were with the victims' family and friends, as well as first responders, urging those impacted to reach out for support. A man and a woman have been charged after a 34-year-old man died at Tweed Heads in northern New South Wales earlier today. Police allege the man was assaulted at a home in Tweed Heads South before being driven to another property on Seaview Crescent, and left on the driveway. Paramedics treated him at the scene, but he died a short time later. A 31-year-old man has been charged with domestic violence-related murder, while a 29-year-old woman has been charged with hindering the discovery of evidence. Still in New South Wales, where 4 people have been arrested after a police officer was allegedly injured during a car chase on Sydney's Lower North Shore. Tony Ibrahim reports.
Police say a vehicle carrying 4 people ignored a direction to pull over in Mossman at around 4:30 this morning, leading to a pursuit. The vehicle pulled over in nearby North Sydney, but as an officer was approaching, it allegedly set off again, striking the constable and an unmarked police vehicle. The 21-year-old man was stable when taken to hospital for injuries to his head and leg. The vehicle was found abandoned in a nearby street, setting off a police search. Police say a 22-year-old man and 3 17-year-olds have been taken into custody for questioning.
Australian travellers are being warned of the security risks using online booking sites. The ABC has been contacted by dozens of people who say they've been targeted by phishing scams after booking accommodation through booking.com. Cybersecurity expert Professor Daswan De Silva says criminals are getting personal details through hacked hotel systems, which are then sold on the dark web.
It's called the reservation hijack, where cyber criminals are pretending to be hotels and contacting customers or deceiving them to off-platform financial transactions in the first instance, or even later more sophisticated attacks of identity theft or even physical theft, knowing that certain people are not at their homes at certain times.
The Turkish Coast Guard says a Turkish-flagged fishing trawler has been attacked and been sunk off the northern Black Sea coast, leaving one sailor dead and 4 others injured. It says the boat was attacked west of Sebastopol in Russian-annexed Crimea, with 5 sailors rescued by another trawler, although one later died. There's no immediate claim of responsibility for the attack. But the waters off Ukraine have seen regular attacks on shipping since Russia launched its Ukrainian invasion in February of 2022. And Chinese-made humanoid robots are drawing international attention with their ability to direct traffic, sort mail, do backflips and even make coffee. Engine AI, a startup based in southern China, says its full-sized humanoid robots with a base price tag of around $38,000 can be used as security guards and museum guides, but can also dance and box. ABC News.
Adventure awaits little ears with free audiobooks.
Most intriguing.
Like the 13-story Treehouse.
How do you turn this thing off?
And The Wind in the Willows.
The best stories in the world.
Find free audiobooks for little ears on the ABC Listen app.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
McKinlay works it across half forward. Came to Georgiades, on again to Marshall. He moves it short to Richards from left half forward. Kicks inside, attacking 50. Horne-Francis marks. Port with an opportunity to have a shot at goal off the boot of Horne-Francis. 50 out, about 45-degree angle to the left. Mason Horne-Francis wiped the sweat from his brow, swirls the yellow Sherrin around in his hands. He's on his way in. Kicks from 45 metres out. He puts it through for Port. Back-to-back goals in the game for the first time for either of the clubs, and it goes the way of the visitors.
Champion is tackled by Lye. Kelly picks it up, gives it to Dersman, gets it back to Kelly. Snap around the body, inside 50, Waterman. The son of the gun comes out and takes the mark. Now wants to go back and finish his work. This has been the part that has left him a little bit this year. He'll have the set shot 35 metres out, slight angle to the left. Jake Waterman, as the modern way is, will snap around the body. He curls it through. The Eagles get their fourth goal. Jake Waterman has his first.
Durden, great mark on the run. Dragged it in one-handed. Worked it out to Whitlock. Hands it back to Durden. Continues a run. Takes a bounce. Runs to left half forward. Pops it inside forward 50. Georgiades. Marks. Turns around. Will pop it to Berry. Marks it left full forward. He's Berry looking for his second. He snaps truly from left full forward. Berry's got a couple.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Good to have you back with us here at Perth Stadium. Port Adelaide leads 6-7-43 to the Eagles 5-2-32. What was a 6-point advantage to Port at quarter time has become an 11-point lead at half time. But the Eagles getting that goal just before half time, putting them back into this contest. They're still in the mix. West Coast looking to win back-to-back games for the second time this season, and what would be 2 of 3. Their form in Perth has been okay, apart from one little major blip. And of course, when Sydney smacked them by 128 points a little bit earlier this year, but they have started to show some improvement. A couple of scores in the NRL before we get all the numbers in this game from Mitch Turner. The Dolphins have beaten the Cowboys. That game up in Townsville, 40 points to 14. And the Titans have won a tight one over the Broncos. So that battle of the two Queensland teams going the way of the Gold Coast, 28 points to 23. Tomorrow, of course, games Sydney versus St Kilda at the SCG, Essendon versus Carlton at the MCG after we start on our coverage on ABC Sport. On Sunday AFL, Matt Clinch and Cameron Ling. I'll be there for the Footy Forum as well. Be joined by Jake Nile from The Age and Glenn Quartermain of The West before we get into our 2 footy matches. And then, of course, on Monday, repeating the King's birthday big freeze. The traditional battle between Collingwood and Melbourne at the MCG. Mitch Turner's got all the numbers in front of him. Mitch?
The numbers team-wise, Port Adelaide have had 1 disposal more than West Coast throughout the game. They've had 10 more contested possessions. They lead the clearance count 20-15. The tackle count 36-31 Port Adelaide's way as well. The inside 50s going the way of the visitors 30-20. They've had 9 marks inside 50 to 6. The hit-outs 22-15 Port Adelaide's way. The free kick count for those who care 9 Port Adelaide 7 to West Coast. So not quite the noise of affirmation that some expect in the West. Individually, Tim Kelly leads all comers on the ground disposal-wise. He's had 17 with 300 metres gained and 4 clearances. Big night for him. 16 for Willem Dersman, who had a big second quarter. Tom McCarthy has 14. Jake Waterman with 12 and 2 goals. Harley Reid up to 12 now as well. For the Port Adelaide side, Darcy Byrne-Jones and Zach Butters, they both have 16 disposals. Logan Evans and Willem Drew, they have 11 apiece. Joe Richards, Burgoyne, Horn Francis, Sweetmead, a whole host of Port Adelaide players with 10. Jordan Sweet, pretty good game from him. 10 touches, 4 clearances, 20 hit-outs from the ruck. He's having a good day. And just on the Saba Ranagalia, who had a blood rule to finish that first half. 8 disposals for him. He's had 7 intercept possessions out of his 8. So he has been a thorn in the side of the West Coast Eagles early on. But at half-time, the main one that counts, Port Adelaide 6-7-43. Lead the West Coast Eagles 5-2-32, an 11-point margin. Clint Wilden.
Thanks to everyone who's got in touch. 0437 774 774. Your thoughts, your comments, always welcome. Loving the commentary. Jen and Ren from around the campfire on the Murray River at Tookamwal. That's in the Riverina. Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Ren. Rod from Hobart. Dersman for the Eagles has turned the ball over by hand and by foot, but Tim Kelly has had a very good first half. Willem Dersman's not the only one guilty of turning the ball over from both sides so far. Rick's in Margaret River. G'day, Rick. Great call, team. The goods, the Eagles are in touch, and Freo's win over the effortless Kangaroos. The bads, family duties. Oh, no. It's a bail tragedy. State of the game, well, Snarls will have time tomorrow. Always appreciating the grandstand teams. Well, good luck, Rick. You're not in the garden. We hope everything's okay. Sounds like the Boo Factory, says Rob in Greensboro's in full production mode over there in Perth. Has the umpiring really been bad enough to warrant that? I do understand why they were frustrated being unable to play on when Cole had the football from a free kick, but it was Weir who was injured, which was the reason they stopped play.
But it's a blight on the game because players will start doing that. It's like in soccer when they deliberately fall over.
And
trying to waste time.
That's why I understand that the Eagles fans were booing as loudly and raucously as they were, because it is allowed, when they have won the free kick, they've allowed every Port player to get back because we had to pause to make sure that the Port player was okay, who gave away the free kick under those circumstances. So, yeah, I understand under those circumstances. There's also been some fairly average footy, to be fair, as well. Jim from Dandaragan, big win today for the Saints against Cervantes Tiger Sharks. Loving the coverage. Questioning Lindsay's omission. He offers run and dash off half-back, which is lacking tonight. And that'll be a question that we will continue to ask if the Eagles don't get up this evening. Second half about to get underway. Port have the advantage at the break. 11 points their lead. Here's Mitch Turner.
Bailey Williams on the first tap, straight into the shin though of Harley Reid. Couldn't take possession. Horn Francis battling with Yo. Then Reid comes in, rips Horn Francis off the ball. Umpire circles as he dives back on top. It'll be balled up. Attacking points. The corner of the centre square favouring West Coast Eagles attacking end. Sweet takes it out of the ruck. Slammed the ground by Harley Reid. Drove him into the deck. Show of strength from the midfielder on the ruck, who's a little sore as he gets to his feet. Going to adjust the shin pad on the right leg. Now stands tall up against Bailey Williams. Both got a hand to it. Neither could take possession from the contest. Marrick slung by Sweet as he tried to break through traffic. All the players thought they was holding the ball the way the umpire paused. And it is a ball up, and they've all run away from the contest. A lot of space here. Burgoyne. He takes advantage of that, goes through the pack, clearing kick up towards Georgiades, no mark taken. Starcevic turned it straight over, ends up with Cochrane for Port Adelaide, chip inside forward 50. Durden takes the mark directly in front, 35 metres out from goal. That was a weird passage of play. The umpire did the real big pause like he was going to pay holding the ball, and then just crossed his arms, and I'd say about 7 or 8 players had already taken off thinking he was holding the ball, and allowed Burgoyne to come through the stoppage with a lot of space. Corey Durden doesn't have one himself tonight, but I tell you what, he set up one earlier. Directly in front, 35 metres out. Durden kicks the goal. He likes it, turns to his teammates, flexes the muscles. And Port Adelaide strike first in the second half here at Perth Stadium. Their lead out to 17 points, 7-7-49. The Eagles are 5-2-32, less than 2 minutes travelled in the third term. Mitch Turner alongside Clint Wilden in the box, our experts. Premiership player for the Eagles, Chris Waterman, former Dockers captain and All-Australian, Cara Antonio.
Just gave it straight to them with Starcevic kind of tackled as he was trying to handball, but just need to gain territory in those situations, especially when pressure's coming and hot at the start of the third term. Easy turnover goal there from Port Adelaide.
Great start for Port. Just the way they wanted the second half to begin. Ball in the middle again. Williams palmed it down to Reid. He bursts away. Harley takes a bounce. Pressure applied, but gets a kick that bounces to Murdoch inside forward 50. Not a great hand pass. Burgoyne able to intercept, but bounced off his shin down towards Cole. To Marek for the Eagles. Kicks towards full forward, almost like he spotted Radaglia as one of his own. And he marks at full back for Port and just pops it into the left back pocket for Burn Jones. He's got it for the power. Glances across full back and then decides to send it long and high towards left half back. Fly came up from Lai, spilled down. Baker, hand pass away to Murdoch, then to Marek. Pops it short, leading out to Mark Shanahan. And he's got it and will have a shot from the right forward pocket from around about 35 metres out.
Better build up there. Well set up behind the footy. Nice bit of connection. Great lead to the foot. Needs to go through.
Normally a pretty good operator from set shots, but this is a tight angle. He'll start less than a metre in from the boundary. Kicks from 25 outs. Is just missed. Narrowly to the right-hand side. Minor score. The Eagles 5-3-33. Port 7-7-49. 4 gone, third term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Here's Mitch Turner.
Burn Jones takes his distance from the square. Long kick up the middle. Sweet in front, couldn't mark. Jimmy gathered for West Coast. Handball to Bailey J. Williams. High kick towards centre half board. Well done by Lyer. Able to edge Cole out of it, then couldn't take possession. Might have been collected as well in the background, Lyer. Ball comes in the means under Dersma. He's tackled by Radaglia. Got it to Duggan. Off to Harvey Johnston. Short kick finds Yo, who takes the mark 20 metres out. Slight angle to the left. He might be in a little bit of trouble here behind the ball, Josh Lye, because he copped one to the head, and I reckon he is gone. He's gone, Josh Lye, as he's in the arms of the trainers.
Yeah, he's in go-go land here.
Wobbly on his feet and does not know what's going on. As Elliot Yo will have the set shot. He's really struggling to get off the ground here, Josh Lye. Yo makes his approach. Should put this through and does. The Eagles respond through one of their leaders. They get there first on the second half. Elliot Yo making an impact. 6-3-39 West Coast, 7-7-49 Port Adelaide, 10-point margin, 5 minutes played in the third term. And they will have a cash spot and are keeping an eye on that. But I can pretty confidently say from here, Josh Lye won't be coming back onto this field.
No, he didn't look good. He was a bit wonky on his feet, and that just indicates that he won't pass the concussion protocol, so Port will be down one. That was just, again, similar to the first part of the first quarter. Just chaos. Just kept the ball alive and managed to squeeze out a little pass. Good work by Harvey Johnson.
It was friendly fire, by the way. Radaglia was the player who was there, and Lye ran straight into him. Didn't seem as he tried to affect the contest, and the moment that happened, he was, well, almost out. Very groggy as he makes his way off the ground. From the restart, Port will get the clearance out in the direction of McKinlay. Trying to get a hand pass away, though, Starcevic. Worked it out the side. It came to Reid, then to Duggan. Kicks towards left half forward. Aliir went up, worked underneath it legally by Waterman. It's off hands and over for a boundary throw in left half forward.
If I was going to pick on one of my teammates, it wouldn't have been Asava.
No.
He's the biggest one out there.
He is. Lyes heading down to the rooms. Watching from our spot in the northern wing. And the restart again. Umpires spotted a free kick here. There's a whistle on the play. Coming back for a holding decision. It will go to Butters. He's got it at right half back. To trot across to retrieve the footy. Kicks into the middle of the ground. He wanted Burn Jones. Went over his head. Burn Jones out to get it. Duggan came the other way. Won the footy to McCarthy. Now to Johnston. To Harley Reid. Sweeping Polly Farmer. Handball inside forward 50. Went there to Duff Titler. Immediately set upon. That's going to be a ball up. Great tackle from Jones. Tough tight, but could not get away. Throwing up into the air. Sweet got there first, palmed it down. Butters at the drop, got a hand pass away to Evans, went to ground, handed it off though. Burn-Jones, wobbly kick, marked by Jinby just forward of the wing.
Jinby inboard by foot to McCarthy. Attacking edge of the logo, goes inside the centre square to Tim Kelly. Kick and a half out from his attacking goal. Wobbly kick inside 50, almost falls into the arms of Logan Evans. Waterman comes through, tackled to ground. Ball upcoming, 25 metres out, directly in front. That kick from Zach Butters earlier. That was a bit of Lair Isaac Hollywood football. Didn't cost him. Now the ball's inside the Eagles attacking 50. Burgoyne tries to get a clearing kick. Traffic arrives. Starcevich takes it for West Coast. Handball inside to Harley Reid. Gets it away to Davis. To Duggan. 45 from home. Kick on goal around the body. Couldn't bring it back enough. It is a minus score to the left. The Eagles are 6-4. 6-4-40. Port Adelaide are 7-7-49. We've played 8 minutes in the third term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Back to a single-digit margin in favour of Port. As they'll kick up the corridor from the restart. Goes into the middle of the ground and over the top. Here's Cochrane. Gathering. Throws it on the boot immediately. Georgiades out after it. He's up against Jinby. The bounce was perfect for Georgiades. Gathers and goals. That's real bad news for Ruben Jinby as well. As you heard from Cara, in the effort to try and run Georgiades down, looks like he's done his left hamstring. He immediately pointed to it. It's a wry look on his face and a shake of the head as he tries to make his way off the ground. Meantime, there's a bit of push and shove for Georgiades after all of that. It wasn't his fault. Ball long and over the top. And the Eagles fans know what's about to happen as they applaud Ruben Jinby as he comes off the ground. He knows he's in trouble, limping his way towards the bench. He's had an amazing season so far, but this could be a bit of time out of the game if it's what we suspect it is, which is a hamstring injury. Port lead 8-7-55. West Coast 6-4-40. 9.5 gone in the third. And there's plenty of players on the Eagles bench who get up just to give Jinby a pat on the head. He's going to go straight down into the rooms.
That looks like a nasty one too.
Yeah, he was really struggling to get off the ground then, Ruben Jinby. That was a ginger walk. His ball back in the middle, tied up again. And the ironic thing was, watching Mitch Georgiades at full pace, given his history, I was kind of watching it. I was worried about his hamstring, and it was the defender that went. Port Adelaide get the clearing kick inside forward 50, bouncing ball. Starcevich goes in hard. Couldn't win it initially, then went back and got it. His kick smothered by Marshall. Tapped out though to Baker of the Eagles, out to Kelly. Handballs into the path of Davis, did well one-on-one. Handballed it to his own advantage. The Eagles trying to win the ball. Butters coming the other way. Tackled by Hoff, dispossessed. Umpire says he slung him or drove him forward into the ground. He's holding his head, Zach Butters. Like to see the replay. Might be considered lucky there, Zach Butters. And yeah, okay, if you think there's booze, that's probably fair. They're there on that occasion. Kick inside 50. Georgiades flies. Going down behind the play was an Eagle. It's a free kick going the way of West Coast. Tyler Young went down behind play. It was Marshall that dropped him, and it's gone to where the ball was, and Liam Baker was in that pack. A bit of confusion around. Watching the replay, the Zach Butters one was probably there in the end.
Yeah, you see him called and then you see him don't you? They're 50-50, those ones.
He did get slung into the ground. There's a bit going on between Georgiades and Baker here as Hoff now has it at left half back for the Eagles. Kick down the southern side, but holding in the pack. Yes. Mark was taken by Alir, but it is a free kick and it's going to Jake Waterman, and that'll fire up the Eagles fans.
Waterman drills the kick forward. He's able to find Duff Titler, who marks. He hands it back to Waterman, who ran around him and then sends it towards left full forward. Williams front position, got hands to it, couldn't mark. It's on the deck. Murdoch looks to lock it in. Burn-Jones had it. It's been held in there. A metre or two from the boundary, left forward pocket for West Coast. 15 points, Port Adelaide's lead. 11 gone in the third. Howe will take it away from the restart through Wines. Kicks Port towards the southern wing. Basso might have got a little shove underneath the football. Instead, it's going to come back here. And the free kick to be taken. Well, in fact, it's going to come back to Young, is it? No. It is Bazzo who's been told he just has to bring it back to where the free kick was given. Again, there's a rumble of discontent around Perth Stadium. The Eagles went to McCarthy and then to Murdoch. He stands on the logo southern wing, and he'll bring it back to Young on the defensive edge of the centre circles.
Young now to the northern wing where Duggan can mark. Steps off his line. He's called to play on. Durden hasn't heard the call yet, so they're both just standing still on the wing, 10 metres apart, staring at each other. Now Duggan kicks up towards half forward. Radaglia in front, no mark taken. Handball over the top comes to Evans. Port Adelaide can try and move the ball forward. Inside to Richards. Just beyond his defensive 50. Doesn't have a lot of options. Waiting for numbers to go forward. Now he spots Ware on the northern wing. Kicks it out to his advantage. Can take the mark and play on. Kicks up towards half forward. Berry's got 2 to beat from the Eagles. Young gets across. Berry in the end able to usher him out of bounds. Probably a good result for Port Adelaide. Ball in to come. 48 metres out from Port Adelaide's attacking goal. They lead by 15 points. Improve that 11-point margin from half-time just slightly. Ball spun back into play. Sweet up against Duff Tyler. He taps it down to Berry, who is tackled by Duggan on the break. And they'll have another ball up. 45 metres out from Port's attacking goal.
Bazzo's got the job now on Georgiades. They're both one out in the cage from the restart. Here's Horne-Francis. Got a hand pass, was meant for Moraes. Starcevic got in the way. Tried to tap it out to Duggan. Moraes stealed away off his hands. And over for a boundary throw-in. West Coast fans will be thinking we just got one of our big defenders back and then we lose another one. Starcevic into the team and we fear the worst in regards to a hamstring injury for Ruben Jinbi. Thrown in again. Sweet at the front. Palmed it down. Straight there to Kelly. Kicks the Eagles into space at right half forward. Aliir will get there first. Radaglia provided a good shepherd on Shanahan. And then Port come to Berry, who marks in front of Allen. Power have it just shy of the northern wing. They lead by 15 points. 14 gone in the third. And the kick is short to Wines, who marks still on the northern wing.
Well, they're Wines, who was awarded his Brownlow medal in 2021 at this very venue. In one of the function rooms here at Perth Stadium. Has ball in hand. Under pressure from Harley Reid. Now kicks a high ball. Sweet in front. Can't mark. Duggan at ground level for the Eagles. Snaps it around the corner up the wing. And playing in front, Yo takes the mark. Wanted a 50 from Wines. So did the crowd. It wasn't forthcoming. Instead, handballs to the run of Kelly. Runs his measure. Kicks towards half forward. And another intercept mark taken by Asava Radaglia. He's had his head bandaged, stitches in, has not affected him one bit. He's been a thorn in their side still. Kicks a high ball up the wing. Bazzo in front. As always favoured. Takes the corresponding intercept mark for the Eagles. A little bit of kick-to-kick happening. Bazzo now send it inside forward. 50 and marking on his chest is Radaglia. This is kick-to-kick. Radaglia will move it from inside his own defensive 50 out to right half back where Horne-Francis can mark. Straighten them up the southern wing to Moraes. He has it just beyond defensive 50. Port Adelaide still lead by 15 points, 16 minutes into the third term.
It's not kick to kick, except for the... Well, it could be, except he can't be king of the pack because he's all been uncontested in regards to his marking so far.
Or markers up over East. Don't make him angry.
Oh, sorry, everyone over East. Kick towards the outer wing. McCarthy takes the mark. He's got it at left half back. He stabs it inside the centre square to Hoff, then to Duggan. Now to Kelly. Kicks towards centre half forward. The lead was on from Shanahan. That was a lovely delivery from Tim Kelly. Good mark too from Shanahan on the lead. Oh, you'll never guess he's been able to go over the top of Radaglia to Waterman, who then somehow has lost the footy. And it's gone across the boundary line for a throw-in. It just crept over the top of the outstretched arms of Radaglia, and Jake Waterman in the right forward pocket almost couldn't believe it. Shake of the head. The ball to be spun back into play from the Eagles full forward. Tap one down by Sweet. Yo tries to gather. He can't. Duff Tyler can. He'll hit the left-hand goalpost off the snap. Off a step, he snaps. Cannon into the left-hand upright. Minor score. 6-5-41 the Eagles. 8-7-55 Port. 14 points the good, the power. 18 gone in the third.
Burgoyne goes short into the pocket to Lockie Jones, who dangerously kicks it in the middle of his defensive 50. Vaughan Francis able to take the mark. Now chips off a step up towards centre half back where Aaliyah can take it. Back home in WA, former Swan, Port Adelaide player, former All-Australian. Kicks it down the southern side. In front, McCarthy flew for West Coast, couldn't take the mark. Ball comes out the way of Davis. His handball, missed Duggan, who would go back and gather, though, on his favoured left side. Kicks up towards half forward. Big fist came from behind. Down towards Aaliyah, who was taken high by Champion. Free kick, Port Adelaide. They go back inside defensive 50. Evans has it. Goes short again. Still within his own arc. To Lockie Jones. Happy to chip the ball around here, Port Adelaide. The next recipient in the chain is Wines. Evans decided to run past and try and get some speed on the ball. Receives the handball. Goes out to the outer side. Mark taken on Mitch Georgiades, who chips one forward. Moraes takes it. Wasn't Georgiades. But he's sitting deep forward right now, looking for a ball and a target. Moraes kicks it in the forward direction. Dropping in front and taking the mark on his chest is Todd Marshall. And he might be able to go the journey from here, and he likes his chances. Mouthguard in the sock. Very tight angle, just inside the junction at right half forward. But he's going to kick from about 54, 55 metres out. Already has one tonight. Toddy Marshall takes his full 30. Now makes his way in. The Eagles fans do their best to put him off. In the end, he kicks it towards the pocket, looking for a mark. Over the top, no mark taken by Butters. The ball spills down. It comes to Dersma, spins into Horn Francis, tackled, gone. Didn't have a huge amount of time, but he did try and spin out of the tackle. And you know what? He might just need one more pre-season, Willem Dersma. And I reckon that's what Mitch Georgiades has told him. Horn Francis free kick. Right forward pocket. He's going to snap it on the left. Sucks in the deep breaths. Composes himself. Horn Francis around the corner. Misses. A little cheer from the Eagles fans. A let off there. Port Adelaide 8-8-56. West Coast to 6-5-41. 15-point margin. 20 minutes into the third.
They lead by a bit, but it could be a lot more. Up by 15 at the moment, Port, as Harley Reid moves it on to Duff Titler. Marks and plays on by hand to Shanahan. Beautifully weighted kick inside forward 50. Right forward pocket, Yo Marks. He'll look to centre the football. Waiting underneath it, Davis flew. Ali was there. Stolen away here. Dersma gathers, snaps and goes. Willem Dersma from the Weir mistake as he tried to hand pass out of trouble. And Dersma, after being largely responsible for a goal at one end, has gone down the other and kicked truly for West Coast. And that margin is back to single digits. Port Adelaide's lead 9 points again. 8-8-56 to the Eagles. 7-5-47. 21 gone in the third.
Well, that's how you respond, don't you?
Yeah, you got to. I'll tell you one thing that I've noticed. West Coast have tightened up, and Port haven't got any free flow through the midfield at the moment. They're just stop-start. West Coast have really dominated their defence. They just haven't been able to get a big enough score, but that's been the order of the game. That was a really good intercept. Will Dersma, you can't underestimate his wingspan.
Long levers, doesn't he?
Yeah. But they've just been able to hold them up defensively, West Coast. They've just got to get forward with a little bit more precision and hit that scoreboard.
Ball back in the middle. Bailey J. Williams taps it in the path of Horn Francis, though. Got a high tackle, didn't matter. Shook it anyway. Now takes a couple of bounces, running through the centre square. Chips it over the top. Wines is snuck forward, takes the mark. 49 metres out, just right of centre. He's going to have a go. And can only Wines get it there? 31 years of age. He doesn't look too confident. Eyes still darting. He has gone back his full measure. In he comes. Ollie Wines chips it short. Horn Francis just fell into a little hole. No one there. Takes the mark and gives the thumbs up to Ollie Wines and says, thank you very much, Oliver.
Poor marking. Just no leadership there. You can't believe that can happen.
There was a genuine question between Harley Reid and Elliot Yeo as to who was supposed to be where.
Already has one tonight. Jason Horne-Francis missed one. He should have kicked a moment ago. Almost directly in front. Jason Horne-Francis sneaks it through. And that'll sting from the Hornet. He's got 2. Port Adelaide back out to 15-point leaders, 9-8-62. They lead West Coast 7-5-47. 23-minute mark approaching us here on ABC Sport. Downstairs, Akash Fodadar is on the boundary.
Yeah, Josh Lai back out now for Port Adelaide. He's sitting at the back of the bench. And for West Coast, they're saying Ruben Jinby's injury is a quad, not a hamstring.
Quad? Is that worse?
In terms of
Quads aren't
recovery,
great.
no, they're not. Can play with them, depends on how bad they are. But just need to get their hands on the footy and get it out of the midfield here, West Coast.
Whatever it is, it's gone for the game, Ruben Jinby. And the way that he limped off the ground, looks like it will be a couple of weeks. Bad news for him and for West Coast. Throwing up, Williams won it down. The umpire, controlling one too on the outer side, has spotted a free kick. It's coming back here to be taken by Yeo. Eagles fans were unhappy and then they suddenly realised it was their free kick. Yeo decides to go on a bit of a sprint through the centre circles and inside forward 50. Well done, Radaglia. Won it down. Butters tried to gather, spinning away. Bounced out of his hands. Burgoyne gathered again. Back to Radaglia. Thumps it long towards the outer wing. And there was Baker, the Eagles co-captain. Short inbound pass finds Yeo, who marks. He stands on the logo. Looks to move it by switching play. It's a dangerous kick. It's there almost for Cochrane. Couldn't quite gather. Out the Young. And then Young puts it into the right forward pocket. Dersma flew almost into the second tier. Couldn't drag in the footy. Off hands and over for a boundary throw-in. The Eagles were lucky. That was a centimetre away from Cochrane intercepting that ball on the northern wing, but they got away with it. Dersma looking to leap high. That was some sort of a ride, but just had gone a bit early. No marking contest, but couldn't get hands to it. Williams got it down for the Eagles again, pinballing around, and gathered by Burgoyne of Port. Kicks towards centre half back. McCarthy with the intercept mark. Immediately plays on, sending it back towards full forward. They come from everywhere. Ball ricochets away. Champion out after it. Tackled by Wines. Wrapped up, taken to ground. That'll be holding the ball. 9-8-62 Port. They've got the free kick in their defensive 50. The Eagles 7-5-47 into the 26th minute of the third.
Wines goes out to right half back where Burne-Jones can immediately kick it up the southern side. Hugs the boundary to Burgoyne. One of the most famous names in Port Adelaide history. There's the Burgoyne name. Jace has it at the moment. Kicks it down that southern side. Good mark taken. Good body work in between a couple by Georgiades. Has a runner coming past. Gives it off. Ball goes inside 50 now. Sweeps the target. Out marks. Too strong. Too big for Young.
Well, that's the difference. When you go to the other end, you see Cooper Tyler Duff against Asava. Huge difference. We've got big bodies up forward that can take those contested marks. West Coast haven't got one at the moment with Jake on the bench.
It was a good kick by McKinlay. Favoured sweep, but tell you what, it was either going to be a mark or a free kick because Young was all at sea. 2-7 from set shots this year, though. The Ruckman, he's had a good night. 20 metres out, tight angle. Jordan sweets. Oh, how sweet it is. He extends the margin for Port Adelaide. Out to 21 points. 10-8-68. The visitors. West Coast are 7-5-47. 27-minute mark approaching us here. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Jordan Sweet now 12 touches, 27 hit-outs. He's had the 5 clearances and a goal. A pretty good night for a ruckman.
Yeah, he certainly has been a dominant big man. And now just to go forward and pinch that goal, Just adds that little bit more to his game. He's certainly, when it comes to hit-outs, he's had a fair say in the output so far.
Biggest lead of the night so far. 21 points. Previous best, 19 points back at 12-minute mark of the second. Port Adelaide. They're up and about, trying to end a 4-game losing streak, refreshed off the bye. Coming across to the west, looking good at the moment. Bouncing around from the restart. They'll get the clearance again. Here's Butters to Horne-Francis. Horne-Francis kicks Port towards right full forward. One to ground by Bazzo. Trying to follow it up again. Port had numbers. Durden over it, couldn't gather. Young did well. Swept the hand pass away to Davis. Then to Bazzo. Baker under pressure at fullback. Got rid of it. And went looking for Cole, who couldn't mark. Ware applied the pressure. Ball hits the deck. Allen might have been held. Umpire says no, play on. Flicked out then by Moraes. Got it to Mead. Worked it inside forward 50. Durden not far enough to be a mark. Got tackled, then broke it. Gave it back to Ware. Kicked towards full forward. They flew from everywhere. No mark taken. Trying to work it out. Whitlock bobbled out of his hands. Butters affects the tackle. Locks up his opponent and takes him to ground. Underneath all of that is Baker. Ball up, full forward for Port. Sweet takes clean possession, snaps and goals. They're going to check whether it was touched on the way through. Port's absolutely convinced it hasn't been. This will be his second if it's gone through for a major. He was pretty confident. Soft call is it's touched.
Review underway.
We'll have a look at the big screen. Tyler Young is the player who's at full stretch with his right hand. Does it just clip the fingertips? That angle, I would say, is inconclusive.
I think you've got the best view there, Mitch, with your binoculars on.
Try to go binoculars on screen. It's not helping.
That looks...
It's not enough to overturn, I wouldn't have thought.
This angle might show us more front on. It does appear that the ball has changed trajectory just as it's gone past the hands of Young, and that's what they might look for, because again, I would say with respect, it's blurry vision on the hand, so it's almost impossible to see if it's flicked his fingertips from what we're seeing, but the ball does seem to take a little turn after it's hit Young's hands. But
that's not our screens, by the way.
Look at these angles, or is it insufficient evidence to determine if the ball is touched or not? Decision on the scoreboard.
So I think that's the right call. Yep. The soft call was it was touched. That's inconclusive. You can't tell. You go back to what the umpire has said. The umpire has said it's touched. And the soft call was made immediately. So, good shout. And again, that's the same umpire who made the great call down the other end. Immediately backed herself. Well done. Minor score 10-9-69, plays 7-5-47. Half an hour gone in the third. Port in front.
Big fly from the restart from Bailey J. Williams. Couldn't take it though. Spilt to Aaliyah. Tumbles the ball to half forward. Baker there to meet for the Eagles. Inside out. Torpedo up the wing. Aaliyah going back. Crashed into the pack. Couldn't take the ball with him though. It spills to Shanahan. High ball to right half forward. A bounce on its end. Over the top of Jones and Waterman. Jones got back to it, was tackled and dispossessed. Now Radagalia is taken over the boundary line. Inside the Eagles attacking 50. The vision on our screen is kind of blurry, but I checked on my computer as well, which is 4K, and it was blurry. So that's the quality of cameras we're working with on some of the score reviews. It doesn't always help. Ball tossed back in. Deep inside the forward 50 for the Eagles. Coming through the pack, Butters just terrific. Attacked the contest, took the footy, kick though. Little hot for Whitlock. Up towards the interchange gates. Young meets it and is met immediately by Todd Marshall, who takes him over the bounds. A bit of a cuddle. Ball will be tossed back in right in front of the Port Adelaide bench.
It's a very aggressive cuddle.
An aggressive cuddler he is. Really likes him. Ball tossed back into play again. Williams to the front, just slaps it forward to the Eagles, only as far as Butters. He couldn't knock it to a teammate. Duursma overran it, ripped off it, back to Duursma. Gave the ball to Harley Reid. Looping handball to Murdoch. Good handball inside to Marrick. Now to Tom Cole from 48 metres out. Sets his sights on the goals. Kicks it and takes off running. Oh, Tom Cole is pumped up. He's happy about it, and so are his teammates. The premiership defender getting another goal this season. And he's a popular member of this Eagles group. And they needed that one. 8-5-53. The Eagles now 10-9-69. Port Adelaide 16-point margin. 32 minutes gone, dying stages of the third term as Taylor Swift rings out around Perth Stadium.
Some interesting goal songs. Hot Potato before by the Wiggles. I don't mind that one.
This is a cracker.
Oh.
Love story by Taylor Swift.
I love Swifties, so no complaints here. West Coast +7 inside 50, so have had a lot of opportunities going inside forward 50, just have lacked a bit of connection, but that one, really nice finish. They needed that one.
Tom Cole, he kicks goals. He does now as a forward. Sweet won it down. Dersma overran it. When Francis tried to tap it forward only as far as Hoff. He got it to Williams as the siren sounded for three-quarter time. And the Eagles have just kept themselves in this game with the late goal to Tom Cole. 10-9-69, Port Adelaide, 8-5-53, West Coast. Port trying to end a four-game losing streak. They are coming off the back of the bye, though, so they will be better rested than West Coast. Both teams down a player. Ruben Jinby with what we're told is a calf injury downstairs. Beg your pardon, a quad injury downstairs. Thanks, Mitch. And Josh Lai out with a head knock. So both teams missing a player. It was a 6-point advantage to Port at quarter time, an 11-point lead to Port at half time. It is now a 16-point lead to Port at three-quarter time. The goal kickers look like this. Berry's got a couple, so too Horn Francis. Singles to Marshall, Moraes, Georgiades, Sweet, Cochrane and Durden. While for West Coast, Waterman with a couple, and then goals to Hoff, Allen, Cole and Shanahan. It's Port Adelaide by 16 points at three-quarter time. Wherever you are on ABC Local Radio, News Radio, Sport Digital and streaming on ABC Listen. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
Meet the builder of dreams.
It's a great honour to be leading Tasmania's new football club.
Sam Pang's brand new office comedy, Ground Up.
Time to make a little history.
Ground Up starts Sunday, June 7 on ABC TV and ABC iView.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Clearing kick up towards Georgiades, no mark taken. Starcevic turned it straight over. Ends up with Cochrane for Port Adelaide. Chip inside forward 50. Durden takes the mark directly in front. 35 metres out from goal. Corey Durden doesn't have one himself tonight, but I tell you what, he set up one earlier. Directly in front, 35 metres out. Durden kicks the goal, he likes it, turns to his teammates, flexes the muscles. And Port Adelaide strike first in the second half here at Perth Stadium. Bailey J. Williams, high kick towards centre half forward. Well done by Lyon. Able to edge Cole out of it, then couldn't take possession. Might have been collected as well in the background, Lyon. Ball comes in the means under Dersma. He's tackled by Radicalia. Got it to Duggan. Off to Harvey Johnston. Short kick finds Yo, who takes the mark 20 metres out. Slight angle to the left. Yo makes his approach. Should put this through and does. The Eagles respond through one of their leaders. They get there first on the second half.
Kick up the corridor from the restart, goes into the middle of the ground and over the top. Here's Cochrane gathering, throws it on the boot immediately. Georgiades out after it. He's up against Jinby. The bounce was perfect for Georgiades, gathers and goals. That's real bad news for Ruben Jinby as well. In the effort to try and run Georgiades down, looks like he's done his left hamstring. He immediately pointed to it. Beautifully weighted kick inside forward 50, right forward pocket, Yo marks. He'll look to centre the football, waiting underneath it. Davis flew, Ali was there. Stolen away here. Dersma gathers, snaps and goals. Willem Dersma from the weird mistake as he tried to hand pass out of trouble. And Dersma, after being largely responsible for a goal at one end, has gone down the other and kicked truly for West Coast.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Results earlier today, Saturday of round 13. Brisbane by 31 points over the Gold Coast at Carrara, their 23rd Q Clash win, while Fremantle, their biggest ever victory, 124 points to the good over North Melbourne in Bunbury. It's three-quarter time at Perth Stadium, and it's the Power who lead, up by 16 points over the Eagles. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner in commentary. Let's hear from our experts. Dual premiership player Chris Waterman, All-Australian and former Dockers captain Cara Antonio.
Well, I thought it was all about Jordan Sweet that quarter, who really dominated the clearances, the centre clearances with his tap work, and that helped Port maintain their ascendancy in this game, and that's where it's about where it's at. Chase Burgoyne and Horn Francis had big quarters. Outside of that, no one's really been a standout. It's been a clunky sort of game. Been just bits and pieces, patches where Port have looked good probably for longer periods than West Coast, but it's still not over. And the injury to Ruben Jimmy's going to hurt. They're down one. They're both down a player. So Jimby, the Jimby on George Yardy's thing is yet to really hurt West Coast at the moment. They seem to be able to hold it. It's more around the ruck clearances. If they can get ascendancy through the midfield and start attacking more with more overlap run, I think they can whittle this score down.
They did trail by 29 points in the second term in Adelaide back in round 3 before running Port Adelaide down. They're going to need to do something similar if they're to get the points in this one, Cara.
Yeah, just lack of forward connection again. They're giving the ball back to Port Adelaide far too easy. They had 7 more inside forward 50s, but Radigalia and Aaliyah, 12 marks between them, all intercept, just dominating in the air. So I just want to see something different when they're going inside forward 50 to be able to hold on to the ball, play the game in their forward half and hit the scoreboard.
Butters up to 22 disposals. So too Tom McCarthy and Tim Kelly from the West Coast Eagles. They are the 3 leaders on the ground. Clearance count well and truly in favour of Port Adelaide, 31-21. They lead the inside 50s as well, 40-37, and they lead on the scoreboard by 16 points. 10-9-69 Port Adelaide, 8-5-53. The West Coast Eagles with 1 quarter of football remaining.
So it's a left quad for Ruben Jimmy. Got it completely wrong. Thought it was a right hamstring to Jimmy, but a left quad. I'm having a look downstairs.
It's his kicking leg. It's not good for a quad.
Back underway, final term. Port hang on. West Coast will get the clearance. Harley Reid, long kick, deep inside forward, 50. Waterman was able to give just a little legal nudge to Aaliyah, and he takes the mark in the right forward pocket.
You would be very unhappy for a Port supporter watching that. I think he got away with one there, Jake.
Great start, though. Fantastic centre clearance. Just the start the Eagles need.
Yeah. 2 hands in the back when you see the replay. Absolutely a push. You're filthy if you're a Port supporter. Can he make it count, though? Here's Jake Waterman, 35 out. Not with that. That's a stinker. Missing to the right-hand side. Behind when they needed a goal. 8-6-54 the Eagles. 10-9-69 Port Adelaide, opening 50 seconds of the final term.
As we say, ball don't lie. Got away with a free kick. We didn't get away with the set shot kick from the restart. It's a long one to the wing. Off hands. Sweet became the rover. Harley Reid just threw him to the ground. Then went back and won the ball. Broke a tackle. Handball out to Davis, who chips short to Yo. Well, Harley Reid just wanted it more. Yo now can wheel around. Kick long inside forward 50. Burgoyne went up. Couldn't mark at the back. Jones has it for the Power. Gives it back to Burgoyne. Tumbling kick. Yo intercepts. Dribbles one towards the goal square. Waterman, one way the other, has to handball away. Tough Tyler couldn't gather. Ball in congestion, left forward pocket for the Eagles. Champion becomes the tackler. Players crashing right up against the boundary line. Umpires are circling, holding the ball. Going the way of the West Coast Eagles at the bottom of it all.
Yeah, he was.
Darcy Byrne-Jones.
He was going for touch, but he just couldn't quite get there.
The umpire was very close, had a very good look at it. I think he held it in, dragged it in, and he was just hoping the umpire would say, let's toss it up. Instead, free kick to Malachi Champion. From the tight angle, runs around, snaps and hits the post, Malachi. Not to be. 2 behinds for the Eagles to start this quarter. 8-7, 55 West Coast, 10-9, 69 Port Adelaide, 14-point margin.
They've had 2 early chances, haven't been able to convert. Burgoyne long beyond defensive 50, sweet, big mark. In front of Bailey J, in a pack of about 4. Able to drag in the footy. Shy of the wing, commentary side. A switch of plays, dangerous to the outer side. It's been paid though, waiting underneath it, taking the mark or free kick in the end was Evans. Cole made him work for it. Bright orange boots on.
Big screen's having issues with the score and the time. It's frozen multiple times. The score is wrong. Now it is right, and it's having a lot of problems turning it on and off.
Happens occasionally. We've got the score for you though. 8-7-55, Charles 10-9-69. Port in front. Radaglia has it right half back. Moves it to Burn Jones, who marks. Port's lead is 14 points. They led by 16 at three-quarter time. They come down the wing. Cochrane couldn't take the ball, bounced in front of him. Allen went over it. Drew's able to pick it up. Has it for Port. Hand pass to a running Butters. Beautifully done. Works it on again to Sweet. Now to Mead at right half forward. Sends it deep to the teeth of goal. Stretching Berry. Couldn't mark against Duggan. Ball hits the deck. Berry tries to follow it up. Scooping it up then Baker, and he's tackled over the boundary line for a throw-in. Left forward pocket for Port. The Eagles were able to hang on that time. Port continue to press. Berry had arms up in the air and stretching for it. Duggan was able to effect the spoil.
Was it front on contact?
Yeah, that should have been a free kick.
Didn't touch the ball in the end, Duggan. Looked good though. Ball tossed back in. Williams knocked it down to Starcevic. His kick smothered by Butters. Ricocheted back to Starcevic though. Clearing kick. Lands on the chest of Waterman. Just beyond centre half back. Wanted to switch it. No options available. Goes out the southern side instead. Calicut Mark has a lot of space and has runners in support. Takes a bounce. Handballs to Duggan. He kicks inside the forward 50. Looking for a marking target and finding one in Duff Seitler. 47 metres out. Right next to the paint of 50 where it meets the boundary. And the young fella might fancy his chances. Oh, this will get Eagles fans excited, not just because it'll reduce the margin. If this young kid can kick him from here, the future will be scary. Cooper, Duff, Seitler. From outside 50, on the boundary, kicks towards goal. It's across the face. Dersma flies, can't mark. Off hands back to Dersma, spills it. Champion crashes in. He's tackled. Ball up top of the goal square. The Eagles in attack. They trail by 14 points. Williams over the top, taps it straight down to Aaliyah. Couldn't take possession. Clearing kick outside defensive 50. McCarthy overran it. Baker taps it back to him. McCarthy splits between 2 Port defenders. Handball to Baker. High kick towards the top of the goal square. Yo can't take the mark. Cole was held. Umpire said play on as the players crash in. Ball is held up. Oh, Tom Cole might have been unlucky there. He tried to break through the pack. Not sure he had possession when he was tackled. Ball goes back up in the air. Williams taps it down. Cole overruns it. Jones in there for the power. Tackled by a number of Eagles. They'll ball it up again. 35 metres out from the Eagles' goal. They trail by 14.
They've had 4 inside 50s to 1 West Coast in this quarter, but haven't been able to hit the scoreboard as Butters bursting through. Gathered, gave it to Drew for Port. Kicked high up in the air towards right half forward. Crashing the pack in there. Georgiades spills out, though, to McCarthy. Goes by hand to Young, who's taken by Evans across the boundary line for a throw-in. Left half forward for West Coast. Still a 14-point lead to Port. 6.5 gone in the final term. Port trying to end a 4-game losing run. The Eagles looking for back-to-back victories. Williams won it by the fingertip. Down low to Drew for Port. From right half back, he kicks up into the air towards the wing. Punch came at the back from the Eagles. Spills to ground. McCarthy got a hand pass away. Here's Murdoch. Hand passing forward to Hoff. Hoff immediately under pressure from Burn Jones. Hand pass turned over. Wine's got it. Worked it back to Marshall. Kicks towards right half forward. Awkward bounce for Bazzo. Smacked forward by Cochrane. Inside forward 50. Georgiades gathers. Gets a kick away towards full forward. Marek. Desperate tackle. Needed it as well. Durden gathered it, wrapped him up, and he wins the free kick. If Durden had broken through, the goal was at his mercy. Marek, that's a goal-saving tackle, and he wins the free kick at fullback.
Marek, short to left half back to Hoff. It was a tight tackle, thought it might have been high. Umpire, as he said, he tried to duck into it, and that was the prior opportunity. Hoff, long to the northern wing. Sweet v. Williams. Williams got a hand on it. Straight down to Drew, though. Over to Evans. His handball missed the intended target, and then Wines overran it. Well done, Bo Allen. Just crashing through players, taking bodies. Ball will be wrapped up. Harley Reid now and Butters at the bottom of the pack. Just having a nice little close word. Face to face as the ball gets tossed up in the air. Umpire has no time for theatre. Cole tackled over the boundary from the restart as Butters is trying to get to Harley Reid, so he's decided it's time to get under the skin of the West Coast Eagles star. It's Allen that crashed straight into Butters and took him with him.
Intensity's definitely lifted in this last quarter.
Hoff still wearing Butters like a glove. Ball tossed back in. Sweet taps it. Butters coming through. Couldn't take possession. The handball wayward from Port Adelaide. Out towards champion of the Eagles. Uses his pace. Kicks up towards Dersma. Little hot for him. Ware couldn't take the mark. Able to get away from Dersma though at ground level. Spun away. Kicks it up the northern wing. Big pack. No mark taken. Port Adelaide almost win it through Berry. Couldn't take it with him. Now Baker was brilliant for the Eagles. Won the ball along the boundary. Kick smothered by Richards. And unfortunately, it ricocheted back into Baker's foot and goes out of bounds. And that is where the last disposal rule has a bit of a flaw. Because if it's come off the boot of Baker, it'll be a free kick to Port Adelaide. But it's not what the rule's intended for. Umpire's having a conference with the boundary umpire, and it is going to be a free kick to Port Adelaide and Joe Richards. That's not what the rule's for.
No, that should be a throw-in.
The law is correct. It's been umpired correctly, but yeah, they need to work on that. In the Sandford, that would be a throw-in because it's not a direct disposal. It's just ricocheted off a bloke's foot. And moved it short to Drew from Richards, who pops over the top towards right half forward to Wines. And Wines marks. 80 from goal. Sends it into the right forward pocket. That's almost a great mark, and then it's been paid, stretching Allen. And then 50, as you heard, shouted out as well. In fact, they're going to move it short to Murdoch anyway. They'll have to bring this back. The Eagles don't know because the crowd is that loud. It's now worked its way all the way to Shanahan on the wing. It's going to have to come back for the 50 to be taken. Eventually they'll work this out, West Coast, as Liam Baker rolls it back for Allen to take the free kick. He'd marked it and got absolutely crunched in the back by Georgiades. That's the reason for the 50. Eventually they work it out. Allen moves it short. Marked by McCarthy. Offensive edge of the centre circles. Comes out towards the logo to Young. Moves it on now by boot towards left half forward. Well, that was courageous. Back with the flight was Berry, got a fist on it. Spilled out to Shanahan, though, inside forward 50 for West Coast. It's to Starcevic to Allen. Measures the kick precisely to Waterman. From the left forward pocket towards more in the full forward direction. It's still a 45-degree angle to the left, but he'll kick from about 30 metres out. That was well worked by West Coast.
It was a very good kick. Just lowered the eyes, found the free player.
Jake's got 2 majors. 2 goals, 1 tonight. With the set snap, you'll hear the crowd reacts. Jake Waterman's got 3. And we're back again to a single-digit game. Port's lead cuts to 8 points at the 12-minute mark of the last. 10-9-69 to West Coast, 9-7-61. The Eagles, they're still right in this on Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Our experts, Chris Waterman and Cara Antonio.
Well, this is a big centre clearance coming up with only 11 minutes to go. We just see here Bo Allen got that ball, got the free kick way back in the back pocket. It stayed in the play, and found his full forward. This centre clearance, you like this song, don't you?
Oh, I love it. And luckily your son kicks a lot of goals, so I hear it a lot. So Bo Allen, he's put a bit of size on this here, hasn't he? Looks more like an AFL footballer, the first round pick. And he's just coming into his own. Ball back in the middle, big contest. No one can win it. Duff Tyler on hands and knees, got it to Murdoch. Handball to Yo, breaks away with pace. That's vintage Elliott Yo. Kicks inside the forward 50. Waterman can't mark. Shanahan at the fall of the ball. Handball inside to Champion Crunch. Big collision, great work by Burne-Jones and Champion. As Burne-Jones handballs it towards the boundary. It goes off hands, out of bounds. That's just good attack on the footy from two footballers.
That was well done by Malachi Champion.
He's feeling the effects of it too as he runs towards the bench. Ball's going to be tossed back in. 40 metres out. He gets a big round of applause from the Eagles faithful as well. They appreciate it as he comes off for a rest. Ball tossed back in. Whitlock knocks it to the front. Comes down towards me. Tumbles a kick towards the wing. Georgiani's worked out of it. Davis tapped it to Marek. The Eagles can go back inside 50. Looking for a marking target. No one can take it. Handball out of the path of Yo. Couldn't gather. Becomes tackler on Radagalia. Now the Power have it. Drew to Butters. Steps inside one. High ball out to the northern wing. Horne-Francis fists it down as Durden slaps it forward, but Bazzo's the only one there up the wing for the Eagles.
Bazzo has time to assess his options and finds one inboard. Chance now to run forward from McCarthy. Sends it deep inside the forward pocket. Spoil came at the back from Port. Davis out after the footy. Ripped away from him by Butters. That was strong. Porter able to immediately go on the attack. It came through Georgiades. Kicks into space at right half forward. Cochran's got a player on over the top. It comes now again to Horne-Francis. Goal at his mercy and he kicks it. They've gone coast to coast, Port, in a telling blow in this game. Port Adelaide put their lead out to 14 points. 11-9, 75 to 9-7, 61. We've gone 14 minutes into the final term. Horne-Francis has got 3.
Yeah, it was a contest back down here with Hamish Davis. Just had to go a bit harder and halve it and keep the ball in his area. And there was too many Port guys had flown out the back. And they just... Horne-Francis, he's looks like he's just jogging along there, doing it easy, but...
So when there's a footy to be won in the AFL,
you've got to keep it in.
There's not many who go after it more than Zach Butters, is there?
Yeah.
He wants it at the moment. And the finish from Horne-Francis, as you said, Muddy, under no pressure, but anything outside of the game. Butters again in the middle, tackled, ripped off it, free kick going his way. Advantage taken by Wines, takes a bounce, doesn't know the pressure's coming, run down by Dersma. Young gets hold. Dersma goes short. Oh, mark dropped by Murdoch. Gives it back to Dersma, though, by hand. Kicks up towards half forward. Ricochets off the boot of Cole. Sweet can't gather. Dersma's in there. Beaten to the footy. Port Adelaide win it. Ball back in congestion, though. Dersma flicks a clever handball out to Duggan. Now to Cole. Attacking side of the southern wing. Kicks it inside 50. Johnson dropped what he should have taken. Radagalia takes a couple of tacklers. Handballs it to Ware. Spills it out of bounds.
Another young player, Harvey Johnson. He's not going to get too many chances at this level.
Got two hands to it. Should have taken it. The pressure rating from both sides is through the roof in this last quarter. That's a great crowd. Saturday night footy here at Perth Stadium, 47,479.
Ball thrown back in, right forward pocket for the Eagles. Comes the way of Kelly, spun out of trouble. Great spoil from Port. Reid picks it up, got it to Duff Tytler, then to Murdoch. Goes back by a hand. Marek with it, 51 out from goal. Goes looking for Shanahan, not to be. Couldn't quite take the mark. Jones picked it up, kicked beyond defensive, 50 towards right half back. Berry's able to tap it along the boundary line, but it'll eventually tumble over. Great pressure coming from the Eagles in Baker. Throwing left half forward for West Coast, who trail by 14 points. 16 and a bit gone, final term. Port 11-9, West Coast 9-7. And the umpire to unfurl. One down by Sweet again. He's dominated that battle tonight, but it went to Davis of the Eagles. Now to McCarthy. Got a hand pass away to Kelly, to Baker. Kicked inside forward 50. Cole! He marks. Top of the 50-metre arc. 49 from goal.
That should be 50 metres.
Handed
over. They've handed over on the mark.
Yeah.
Player didn't stand. Obviously, the umpire, the only reason I can think of is hadn't called stand at the time. Tom Cole works his way out to his right. That is an enormous kick. That's a thumping goal. Tom Cole, he scores goals. He's got 2 in a career of 138 games and only had 6 going into tonight. Tom Cole has 2 majors and a brilliant save at the other end of the park as well. Port Adelaide's lead is back to just 8 points. 11-9-75 to West Coast 10-7-67. What a strike of the footy by Tom Cole.
Well, the difference in this quarter compared to the last 3, the Eagles are all on the same page. The handballs are clean. They're not over-handballing it, and they're hitting targets. Really lucky to not, or unlucky, should I say, to not get the 50 metre. You see that paid every other day, but what a finish. What a roost.
Tell you what, he does love a goal, Tommy Cole. And they love him. The Eagles fans have found their voice. All 47,000 of them, and they'll win the clearance. Harley Reid kicks inside forward 50. Radaglia can't mark at the fall of the ball. Port Adelaide win it back. Radaglia tackle, taken to ground. Ball up, coming inside forward 50. 8 points down the Eagles. 2 sides desperately wanting to win this game of footy. Sweet v Williams. Williams taps it towards goal. Radaglia first one there. Handball across to McKinlay. Straightens up on the southern side. Kicks out towards the wing. Good mark going back. McCarthy takes the intercept for the Eagles. What a find he's been after coming into the mid-season draft last year. Tom McCarthy sends them inside forward 50. Waterman at the back. Jake Waterman arrives on cue.
Gee, they fell apart there, Port. There was no one flying. They lost control of what they were about. A couple got held out.
They need to wrestle the momentum back, Port. This is a big kick coming up. Jake Waterman, side angle to the right. Will kick from 35, 40 metres out. This will bring the Eagles fans well and truly to their feet. He has 3 goals already. Jake the Snake Waterman, set, shot. Misses. He blows his lines. Come on, Jake. I can't set you up like that for you to miss. 10-8-68 the Eagles. 11-9-75 Port Adelaide. They still lead by 7 points to Power. They have ball in hand from the kick-in.
Long time since West Coast has been in front way back in the first quarter. As Port controlled most of this game under real pressure right now. Georgiades gets it shy of the wing. Looking to get it forward. Cochrane's hand pass intercepted by Allen, still on the northern wing. It came out to Young. He's immediately tackled, wrapped up. Taken to ground by Richards. Ball up the court. Umpire puts it aloft. Williams won it down for the Eagles. Reid ripped out of his grasp first time by Horn Francis. He got it back though, Harley Reid, and gave it to Kelly. High up in the air towards left half forward. Tap one down by Johnston. Spilled out. And then Burn-Jones made sure it wasn't going any further. Just wrapped up Tom Cole. Took him to ground. Got a bit of help from Evans as well. Throw up. 52 out from goal. Williams palmed it down again for the Eagles. Now to Kelly. Wasn't sure where to go eventually. Kicks towards the left forward pocket. Waterman flew. Spilled down Duff Tightler at the back. Shanahan tries to gather. Yo working hard as well. Came out to Evans. He's tackled immediately. Wrapped up. Duff Tightler takes him to ground. Ball up, left full forward for West Coast. It's still Port leading by 7 points, 21 gone in the last.
Ball tossed up in the air, comes down to Yo. Harley Reid, left pocket, straightens up, misses to the left. 10-9-69 the Eagles, 11-9-75 Port Adelaide, margin 6 points. Zach Butters has gone to the bench, bit of cramp as he gets the calves worked on. but it is one straight kick now. 22 minutes played in the last quarter. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport doesn't get much better than this.
It was 22 minutes into the first, the last time the Eagles were in front. Ken Port hang on, kick towards right half back. Eagles emerge with it. Davis, Harley Reid, now onto Allen from left half forward, goes looking for Waterman. Spoil came from the back. Alear and Burne-Jones combining to see the ball over the boundary line for a throw-in. Port are desperately hanging on.
15 inside 50s to 4 this quarter.
47,400 odd Eagles fans. They believe with it thrown back in. Williams got it down. Only throws Richard to Burne-Jones. Run down by Waterman. Umpire says play on. There wasn't a lot of cry. I think it's the right decision. Spilled out to the side. It's been locked in again. Mead tackled to ground. Eagles fans register their mild discontent. One down by Sweet to Yo. Threw it on the boot immediately. It crashes on the bounce into the left hand behind post. And the Eagles fans suggest again that they were unhappy with that previous decision. They're loud tonight. They can sense another win. Can their team deliver? Deep at left full forward, thrown back in. Sweet got the telling tap. Mead goes up, tackled by Hoff. Wrapped up, taken to ground. No prior, ball up. About 20 out from goal at full forward for West Coast. They still trail by 6 points. 22 gone in the last.
Ball tossed up in the night sky. Sweet taps it down. Burgoyne tries to get a clearing kick. Shanahan intercepts, then loses it. Crashing in, Tom Cole. He's pushed in the back. Oh, Tom Cole. The most unlikely of heroes is going back to line up for his third goal.
He'd never kicked more than one goal in a game before tonight. He's already on a career high of 2.
Premiership defender in 2018. Trying to help lead this club back to the top of the table. He's directly in front. Will kick from 40 metres out to level the scores. Tom Cole, ball in hand. The drop punt is away to the right. I've got to stop setting these players up. They can't finish it. 10-10-70 the Eagles. Port Adelaide are 11-9-75. 24 and a half played. But the Eagles are within a kick now.
We look in the dictionary for commentary curse, Mitch, and there you are staring back. Here you go, Port from Burgoyne. Long beyond defensive 50. Oh, what a mark to Bazzo! An unbelievable screaming pack mark. Plays on immediately to Duggan. Back inside forward 50. Dersma couldn't grab it. Spilled out the side. Umpire says we'll ball it up. Courage shown by Burne-Jones. Tackled the ground. Left forward pocket. 35 out from West Coast goal. Neither ruck got it. Trying to work it forward. Hoff shoveled out by the power beyond defensive 50. Great grab. Georgiades in front. Had to present and now pauses. Willem Drew with the clearing kick and then Weir. And now it's in the hands of Georgiades at right half back. He sends it down the line. They fly from everywhere. Off hands, went past Butters, got a nudge from Baker. Murdoch's hand pass wasn't great. Marshall gathered it up again. Evans swept it forward, getting in the way. Allen for the Eagles to McCarthy. Here they go through the middle.
Ball handballed across to Baker. Kick inside forward 50 for the Eagles. Shanahan! It couldn't be him, could it? He marks 48 metres out. He's already done it to him once, Joe Shanahan. He runs to 50, kicks towards goal. Williams and Sweet, one-on-one. Williams can't mark. It's off hands over the line. 1- score again for the Eagles. 10-11-71 West Coast, 11-9-75. Port Adelaide, 26 minutes played. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Port haven't scored since the 15-minute mark of this term. It's been all West Coast since then. Kick beyond defensive 50 for the power. Rising Whitlock. Didn't quite complete it. Wines tries to work his way forward. Came out the back. Baker goes in to lock it. Up against Richards. Ball up right half back for the power.
17 inside 50s to 4 now for the Eagles this quarter.
Throw it aloft again. Sweet won it down. Kelly tried to gather. Couldn't quite. Went again there to Ware. He's locked up on the deck. Ball up again.
Pressure has been immense this quarter. Eagles have laid 14 tackles inside forward 50.
Throwing up again. Sweet tried to take clean possession. Shoveled a hand pass out to Richards. Hard up against the boundary for Port. Wobbles a kick down the line. Getting to it, Alan Marks. Sliding across the boundary line just shy of the northern wing. 47,000 plus fans trying to urge him on. Kicks long towards left half forward. Dersma takes a huge grab. One-on-one contest against Drew. He's too far out to score himself. Puts it into the left forward pocket. He wanted Yo. Great spoil. Seeing it over the boundary line. Wines in front position. Had some help from Evans, who is very sore as he moves away from the contest. He's limping. So too are Port Adelaide to this line. Their lead, 4 points thrown in. Williams tried to get a kick away, smothered. Richards clears for Port towards the commentary wing. This is an important moment. Slapped forward by Georgiades. Onto it, Whitlock. It's an open forward 50. There's not a player in it. Whitlock kicks long towards full forward. McCarthy racing back there. He's got Berry in hot pursuit. The bounce favours McCarthy. Oh, and he turns it over. Slipping over was Johnston. He cannot believe it. And Burgoyne has marked for Port in the left forward pocket, about 40 from goal.
Oh, you feel for the Eagles. They've had the ball in their forward half of the ground for probably 98% of this quarter. Port Adelaide slingshot back the other way and have a shot at goal because of an Eagles player that slipped over.
At the 29-minute mark, here comes Burgoyne. From right up against the boundary, the kick is across the face. It's a minor score. The wind's still on for West Coast. Port's lead is 5 points. 29 gone in the last.
Duggan goes the barrel up the middle of Perth Stadium. Big pack, no mark taken. Wines at the fall of the ball. Won it for the power. Got it to Butters. To McKinlay. A mark will finish it for Port. No mark taken. Bazzo makes the spoil. A free kick's going to go the way of the Eagles. They play on quickly, West Coast. Duggan again, back up the middle of the stadium. Kicks it towards Williams, can't take the mark. Yo handballs it backwards. Hopp is onto it for West Coast. Can't take possession. He's crunched by a couple of power players. Burgoyne gets a kick forward. No mark taken inside 50. Berry was crunched. The Eagles have got to go quickly. Tumbling ball to the middle of the ground. Big spoil came from Evans. Port Adelaide go back inside 50s. Mark taken on the siren to seal it. They're in a bit of an energy crisis, Port Adelaide, but once again they have the power to win. The margin will be the only question. Georgiades will have the shot after the siren. A thrilling game of football at Perth Stadium. The life has been sucked out of it. Georgiades to give us the final score. The set shot on its way. He misses to the right, but Port Adelaide are back on the winners list. And Perth Stadium falls into a dull, quiet hush. And the only noise being made is from the power fans at one end of the ground who are waving the flags. Port Adelaide defeat West Coast by 6 points.
So Port Adelaide end a 4-game losing streak with a 6-point win over a gallant West Coast. They're back on the winners list, but they would have given their fans around the nation plenty of nervous moments in that last quarter. West Coast were coming. They couldn't find a way through Port Adelaide. They delivered when they needed to. 11-11-77 to 10-11-71. Zach Butters with 27 disposals, 16 of them contested and 2 inside 50s. He was a prime mover again for Port Adelaide, and not just with what he did when he had the ball, but his desperate desire to make sure his opponents weren't able to hang on to it. Having a look at the goal kickers, Horn Francis booted 3, Joe Berry kicked 2, singles to Marshall, Moraes, Georgiades, Sweet, Cochrane and Durden, while for West Coast, 3 to Waterman, 2 to Cole, single to Dersma, to Hoff, or beg your pardon, to Hoff, 1 to Allen and 1 to Shanahan. Port Adelaide 11-11-77, West Coast 10-11-71. Georgiades with 9 marks for what it is worth as well. And Radigalia the same, and they were big marks as well when they were able to do so. So after 4 losses in a row and after losing 4 close ones in a row this season, because they went down to West Coast back in round 3 by 2 points, to Hawthorn in round 6 by 3, to Adelaide by a point in the showdown in round 8, and then the Western Bulldogs by 2 points in round 9. Port have found a way to win a tight one. 6 points victorious over the West Coast Eagles in Perth. On Saturday night footy on ABC Sport, let's hear what our experts think of it. Chris Waterman, dual premiership player. Cara Antonio, All-Australian and AFLW former captain of the Dockers.
Well, we got what we thought we'd get, and that was a close game. And it's what these two teams dish up. First quarter, Port blew it and could have put West Coast to the sword, and in the last quarter, West Coast blew it and could have put Port to the sword. And in the end, it was only the goal that separated them. But if we go back through the entirety of the game, I think you'll find that Jordan Sweet wielded a fairly big influence over this contest with his ruck work. Butters 27, Burgoyne around there 24. Burn James was huge down back behind the ball. Horn Francis with just under 20 and 3 goals. So it wasn't. It was all overs and stops and fits and starts, and so many mistakes. But that's what you love about the game. It was just tense, intensity and pressure. A lot of contact in the end. They were gassed when that final siren went. Both players from both teams were absolutely out. They were just gassed. It was just took it out of them. So great contest. We expected a tough one. 4th win for the Port boys, and West Coast licked their wounds. Probably not only losing the game, the biggest downside out of tonight for them is the loss of Ruben Jimby, which looks significant. Hope it's not for too long, but as I said, we went and watched West Coast and Waffle. They've got some troops coming back. Starcevic got through a game. Doesn't matter. They're at that stage of their rebuild where they're going to have the ups and downs, and tonight was just a slightly unders for them, but good on Port Adelaide.
Yeah, wow, what a final quarter. I think, even if you had rocked up at 3-quarter time, you would have got your money's worth. It was, everything we had hoped for at the start of the game. The Eagles just gave themselves so many chances, which, again, they'll be ruining after this game. Kicked 2 goals, 6 in the last quarter, but their pressure was outstanding. 15 tackles inside forward 50. They had time in forward half was 96% or something crazy, and again, just centre clearance, dominance, contested possession, dominance. Port Adelaide couldn't get their hands on the ball, but when they did, they were able to, unfortunately, hit the scoreboard down the other end and slingshot after the hard work and the pressure, I suppose, from the Eagles.
Look at how much West Coast dominated that last quarter. 18 inside 50s to 8. Now won't care. They're back on the winners list, and the cash voted ours downstairs for them. A cash.
I am indeed, Clint. It's not the biggest group of supporters in an away change room that I've seen, but they're making plenty of noise, as are the Port Adelaide coaches and other staff. That's a real big win for the Power, breaking that losing streak, and heart-stopping thriller there in the end, and you can just see the relief and the joy on the faces of the players as well as coaches and staff down here. Quite a lot of sore, limping bodies as well, as they all high-five and celebrate with each other, and now they're getting in the circle for what I expect to be a pretty good rendition of this Port Adelaide song. A 6-point win for the Power. We should be joined, hopefully, by the big ruckman Jordan Sweet very shortly.
Thanks to Cash. Just looking at some of those other numbers from that last quarter again. 18 inside 50s to 8 for West Coast. They had 6 marks inside 50 to 2. They had 89 disposals to 68. So they were just dominant in so many ways in that final term. So 21 more disposals, 11 more contested possessions, 5 more ground ball gets, 9 more marks, 16 more uncontested possessions, 7 more tackles, 5 more intercept possessions, 3 more first possessions, 5 more clearances, and they even had 1 more hit out, which, as you quite rightly, Muddy said, Sweet was dominant through most of that game. He had 11 hit outs to advantage and 38 hit outs to 29 for Williams, 7 clearances to Sweets, and he actually had 8 first possessions. Butters the most on the ground with 10, but all the numbers favoured West Coast. They had their chances tonight in that final term. Port, though, were able to hang on, a gutsy win where they were able to just stick it out, and they were desperate in those dying stages.
Good on them. They just hung in there. But West Coast intensity in that forward 50 late in the game was huge, but they lacked it for most of the first 3 quarters. It's an area where Malachi Champion has to get better at. Harvey Johnson blew a couple of chances today. And they've been given some games, and it might be a week off for them. And Tom Gross got 4 in the waffle today and been racking up some minutes, so they might have a look at things like that, just keep shuffling around. Cooper Duff and both him and Job Shanahan, 1 goal, 2 between them. You know, is that going to work? I suppose they've just got to keep getting games into them, but for me, I feel like Jack Williams is still a young bloke as well, but he's a bigger body who can create more of a contest and seems to have more effect at the as a second ruckman. But I'm not on the selection table. Tommy Cole, 2 goals, nearly 3. Stars got through a game. Milan was a lot quieter. Maybe him having a job that gets in under someone's guard and, you know, he can chip away, and he just didn't quite have that tonight. And, you know, Hoffey was going with Butters. It might have, if we did say he's almost untaggable, he got 27. In hindsight, Horn Francis might have been better. He could, you know, he's more of a goal kicker, but he probably wouldn't have taken him as that forward. Look, it was just a tough game to watch. Just didn't know what was going to happen right till the end, and we discussed that at the beginning.
Turn our attention to Port for a moment. Huge win for Port. They would still like their chances of being able to force their way potentially into a wild card position, and to do that, they would absolutely needed to win this game with what's to come. They've got Sydney twice in the run home from now. So Sydney next up, and then Sydney again in round 22. Collingwood at the MCG, Adelaide in the showdown in round 16, North at home, round 17, then St Kilda away, Fremantle at home, Brisbane at the Gabba, then the Giants, Sydney, as I mentioned, in round 22, Melbourne, and the Bombers to finish. It's a tough run, but they should be up and about after that performance. Let's go down into the rooms at Cash Photo Day.
Thanks, Clint. Yeah, they are up and about down here. We've got Jordan Sweet, Port Adelaide's ruckman. Jordan, that was a heart-stopping win, really.
Oh, it was tough. I mean, that last 10 minutes went forever. I mean, when I come back on, I think there was 8 minutes to go, and they just avalanche of inside 50s. It was tough.
When it is tough and tight late in the game and you've got 48,000 people against you in the crowd as well, how hard is it just to stay calm and stick to the process and the things you would have planned to do late in close games?
It's hard, but the crowd just sort of makes you feel alive, and you sort of you take it all in, and you can keep playing and playing and playing until you can't, I guess. So yeah, it's not too bad.
And how did you see your ruck battle tonight with Bailey Williams? You look quite influential there in the middle. He's come in some pretty good form, but you look like you really got on top, particularly in the clearances.
He's been the number one rated player for West Coast for the last 5 weeks, so it's pretty incredible what he's doing at the moment. He's got some amazing hops at the centre bounce. My shin's pretty sore at the moment, copping it a fair bit. But I knew around the ground I'll be able to match him or beat him in that, so I made sure I tell him that as well.
And how do you go when you're coming up against someone who has such a big leap and, your strengths might lie more in the around-the-ground stuff? How do you look to negate someone and their strengths?
It's actually really hard with the new centre bounce rules, thanks AFL. You've got to do your homework beforehand and see where they hit. And we were hitting the same spot, and just unfortunately Harley was getting a fair few nice clearances out of there. So Elliot Yeo did a good work in protecting the area for Harley Reid, and we couldn't do too much about it, but as much as we can negate it as much as possible, that's what we tried to do.
Right, let's head upstairs to our team. We've got Clint Wheeldon, Chris Waterman and Cara Antonio.
Well done, Jordan. I thought your effort in the ruck tonight was huge, but going into the bye, you dropped a few games. It just would have felt like in the group such an important effort just to try and pull 4 points out of Perth tonight.
Yeah, definitely. We wanted to get a win. We want to get a win every week, but after a few bad losses, tonight was the night where we wanted to get it done and get 4 points and head back to Adelaide. So I'm very happy we've done it, and come get on the plane and get back to Adelaide.
It just looked like it was everyone was gassed when that final siren went. I think Mitch was. But I think he'd prefer not to have the kick, but both teams just went down on all four haunches. It just was a brutal game.
It definitely was. I don't know how many stoppages was in the last 8 minutes. I reckon there was more in the last 8 minutes than there was for a first half of footy. So, that was incredible. A lot of LDL, long down the line kicks, and it was bloody hard.
Jordan, Cara Antonio here. Congratulations on the win. What was the feeling for you when the siren went? Was it relief? Was it?
Yeah, so much relief. Yeah, it was just, you can see the siren come up like 90 seconds to go. So you saw that and you thought, when Jace was having a set shot, surely this isn't it. Like, this is enough. And then they kicked one big down. They kicked a big one down the guts, and the boys did well, stood tall, and put it back the other way. So, when the siren went and George had it, it was a big relief.
And it's been obviously spoken about. You've lost your last four, and obviously a nice win over here. And you've had a couple of tight losses in those four. What, I suppose, does this build on being able to hold on to a win like this moving forward for the rest of the season?
We know our defence is good enough, and it competes well with the very best. It's more about scoring and moving the ball for us. We probably struggled a bit coming from the back half, so we're trying to work on that, and if we can make that better, I think it's going to help us in the back half of the year.
And the bye week, it was obviously Josh Carr came out and mentioned there was obviously a review of some of your phases of the game, and you as players needed to take a bit of more ownership of the roles. What was those conversations like throughout the bye?
We're a bit of a quiet group, so it was more so us older boys speaking up more and helping the younger guys feel more comfortable around the group and speaking in education sessions, and if we can help them be better footballers in the long term, that's the main goal, and more so around all our values as well. So we can hold our values in good stead, and if we do that, we can be good footballers and good people.
Jordan, for what it's worth, 26 stoppages in the last quarter.
Oh.
Don't know how many in the
What do we have for the game, do you know?
I can tell you that. For the entire match, the stoppages were 95.
Oof, that's going to be the most for a dry game all year, I would have thought.
It's an incredible number.
That's back to last year numbers.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, well done. 38 hit-outs to you, 11 to advantage, 7 clearances and 8 first possessions. And some game, mate. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thanks for that.
I'm just curious where Port sees themselves for your supporters at the moment. With the wild card rounds, top 10 gets to play postseason.
Yep.
Does it really still open it up for where you're at the moment to look and go, we're still a chance to have an influence?
Absolutely. We've lost 5 games under a goal and to good teams too, so we know we can compete. It's just putting the 4 quarters together and getting our offense going, and if we can do that, then I feel like we can get up to the wild card spot and, cause some trouble. So I don't know how many games behind we are, but we'll try and push and see what happens.
You're certainly in the mix after that win. Congratulations on what was a thrilling game to watch. Well done on taking the 4 points, and thanks for chatting.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Jordan Sweet downstairs. 58th game for him. He was a goal kicker tonight and was hugely influential as well. As I mentioned, 38 hit-outs, 11 to advantage, 95 stoppages in total, which is quite remarkable. 25 centre bounces, 70 ball-ups from throw-ins. Yeah, it's big numbers. Zach Butters led the way with 27 disposals. Burgoyne with 24. Burn-Jones, 24. Evans with 20. While for West Coast, Tom McCarthy with 31. Kelly with 26. Reid 25. Dersma 23. Baker 21. What do you guys think? Are Port any chance from here for having an impact post-season? I think they would have to be better than what we've seen tonight to be able to squeeze their way into the top 10. But because I love this term that gets thrown around, because it does go down to a top 10, there are more games of consequence. Well, there will be.
No, but that's right. It's turning out that way. These two teams and Carlton got something to aim for. So I guess if you look at Port overall, that they haven't been an easy beat when they have lost. As you just said, they've lost. Yeah. They've lost in close games. So there's just overall there's just not quite enough there. So there's 2 or 3, and they might be young guys on their list that they're still developing, or it might be another draft or 2 away yet to completely put that list together. But they're not far away from it. I mean, the back half, Sava Radicalia was huge early. Their ruckman was huge. Mitch played on one of the best defenders in the comp for most of the game, and didn't, Ruben made it pretty tough for him. But then Horn Francis jumps up and kicks 3 from the midfield. It wasn't a high-scoring game because it was so brutal at the contest. Players could barely kick the ball when they were coming out of the contest. But both have got a lot to look forward to. Guys like Wines, Ollie Wines, you'd think is the one that's probably getting tipped out sooner rather than later. Marshall's been out for a while. West Coast have got a few that just need more games as well, and they showed signs. They made a lot of silly mistakes tonight. So did Port. I guess that's what you get with teams that just carry some young players in that are just over-exuberant and try and do too much at times.
So of the teams that they lost those close games to, obviously West Coast down the bottom of the ladder in round 3, but they lost to Hawthorn at the Docklands. So they dropped that game to the Hawks, who are currently in 3rd spot on the ladder by 3 points. The Crows, we know in the showdown, could have won it, maybe should have won it. Lost by a point there to the Crows, and they're currently sitting in 7th. And then, of course, the Western Bulldogs, who have surged back into contention. They're up into 5th. They lost that game by 2 points in Adelaide. So, 3 of the teams they lost to are around and about in regards to where they're at in the ladder. So pick up 2 of those, and Port's season looks dramatically different to what it is now, where they're 4-8 from their 12 games. And having a look at the ladder, they've now climbed up into 14th spot on the ladder, Port Adelaide. So 4-8, a percentage of 101.4. The Eagles have dropped down to 16th, percentage of 71.3. I always find it strange when a club loses, but their percentage goes up from 70 to 71.3. The joys of mathematics. Played 13, won 4, lost 9 on 16 points. So they'll need to be better than they were tonight. They'll need to be cleaner, but they did show at times that one particular lovely goal that they were able to set up from a flowing passage of play down the outer wing shows what they can do. Georgiades continues to impress. Horn Francis was really good tonight. And while he's there, and although everyone suspects he might not be there for next season, but he's there right now, you cannot question what Zach Butters brings to a football club.
God, he's hard at the contest. And consistently over, every game, every minute, the ball is in his vicinity. He goes hard at it and puts his body on the line. God, if they lose him next year, it's a massive hole to fill. He was impressive tonight. I think we mentioned tried to stay with him and tag him at times, but, I mean, he ended up with 27 touches, 17 contested possessions and a couple inside 50s and 7 clearances. So had a pretty good game to his standards, no doubt. Yeah, he's tough. He's one of the toughest that you see, and I haven't watched obviously too much of Port live. Seeing him live, you hold your breath when he runs at the footy. Absolute bull.
He's great to watch, and it was a ding-dong battle today that he had out there with any number of different players as well. Dean asked a question. I agree if it's a ricochet off a boot and out of bounds, it should be a throw-in, but if it happens in front of the goals, the umpires would still call it out on the full. It happens in front of the goals, the umpires would still call it out on the full. Would they?
But that's that one there. The one we saw just there was. You probably got to be careful how you phrase this, but it was accidental.
Yeah.
Completely accidental.
So that's where you go, it wasn't last disposal.
It wasn't a disposal.
It's just hit a guy's foot and gone across the line. By the way...
The interpretation's wrong.
Before you text in, this didn't settle the game.
No.
But it's just...
I'm just trying to clear it up, but I just think that's just throw the ball in. It's confusing players because Baker didn't have a disposal. He doesn't get a disposal, does he?
Nope.
So why is it a disposal?
So technically the rule needs to change to last touch then. Because it's so confusing.
Well, if you were doing the stats, would you go Baker kick?
No.
You wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because it's a knock on, really.
Yeah.
So it should have been. It's just easier just to throw it in.
So I guess
if there's any debate, anyway.
I'm not sure if this is what Dean's arguing, but and again, apologies, Dean. Sometimes context is hard to read from a text on 0437 774 774. But if it had come off Baker's boot like that and does go across the goal line, we would count it as a goal.
Yeah, I understand that.
But
because that's a scoring opportunity.
That's right. So I think the rules can be different, or the laws can be interpreted differently. I don't mind last disposal out of bounds when it's a genuine disposal. But again,
I agree.
Yeah. In the Sandful, they would have said that that's a throw-in because it's not a genuine disposal.
No, it's not.
It's not a hand pass that's missed its target and gone across the line. It's not a kick that's missed its target and gone across the line. It's a ricochet off a guy's boot. So we go back to, I guess, what was the whole theory behind the law in the first place?
Yeah.
It was to try to encourage players to keep the ball in play. You're not encouraging Baker to keep the ball in play because he's had no idea it's ricocheted off.
No.
Do you think we'll see a change in rule or...
Not this year.
Next year? Like interpretation of...
Yeah, well, they do tend to change their interpretations if they get the nod from upstairs and just say, look, we're going to add some common sense to this.
Correct. Common sense it comes down to.
Well, again, we make...
Which is very rare in this world.
We make the point we're in a situation where, and this is like basketball, where you can hand pass or kick the ball into your opponent deliberately, that can ricochet off that person below the knee, go out of bounds, and you get the free kick because it's come off them below the knee. I would argue common sense would need to prevail here because if the law is about keeping the ball in play, your intention at that moment is not to keep the ball in play. It's to have the ball go out of play by ricocheting off an opponent. What's your intention? Not keeping it in play. And so, therefore, that shouldn't be ruled as the lasso rule. Anyway, that's just my thoughts.
So I can understand where he's coming from. It's a valid point. And we discussed it. I'm sure they would have discussed it on TV as well because there was confusion between the umpires. And it's easier just to go and say, well, let's throw it in.
We'll hear from Tom Cole very shortly downstairs. He's going to be joined by Mitch Turner. We'll see if we can get that to you in the next 12 minutes or so. But just repeating, full time here, Port Adelaide have hung on to win a thriller by 6 points, 11-11-77 to 10-11-71 over the West Coast Eagles. The other games today, Brisbane by 31 points over Gold Coast, so another win in the Q Clash for the Lions, and they end what was a 3-game losing streak for them. 15-16, 106 to 11-9, 71. Logan Morris booting 7 goals for Brisbane in that game. A career high and a best ever from what I understand in Q Clashes. And down in Bunbury, first time ever we've had 2 games in the AFL in the one day. It started in Bun Vegas with Freo winning by 124 points, their biggest ever win in their history. They thumped the Kangaroos 24-11, 155 to 4-7-31. Notably, 19 consecutive goals they kicked, their biggest ever run of unanswered goals. Fremantle, Voss got 4, Tracy got 4, Jackson had 3, had 19 disposals as well and 22 hit-outs, and Brayshaw with 30 touches. 0437 774 774 if you'd like to get in touch and ask us a question. With you for about another 11 minutes. We'll see if we can sneak some of the press conferences in as well, depending on when Josh Carr or Andrew McQualter decide to mosey in downstairs to speak to the waiting media. But if we can, we'll definitely bring that to you. Sydney versus St Kilda at the SCG tomorrow. Essendon versus Carlton at the MCG. There are 2 games tomorrow. On Monday, Collingwood versus Melbourne, the big game, the King's birthday big freeze at the G. Will be there for all the excitement and all the build-up as well. It's a tremendous day, and hopefully so many of you have bought your beanies or your digital beanies to support this continued fight against MND as we continue to hold the memory of Neil Danaher very close to us and everything that he's done in footy. Better get the votes in the ABC Football of the Year and the Christian Medal. Chris Waterman and Cara Antonio, who's responsible tonight?
Well, one thing I think we've all agreed on is that we reckon Jordan Sweet has probably been the best player on the ground, or the most influential player on the ground. I've got, in terms of the game itself, I've got Horn Francis as number 2 because he ended up with 3 goals and had a massive influence in parts of the game. And I probably went number 3 with Tom McCarthy, who was quite huge across half-back.
So, Muddy, you've completely confused me. Give me your 1 vote, your 2 vote and your 3 vote.
1 vote to Tom McCarthy.
Yep.
2 votes to Horn Francis, 3 votes to Jordan Sweet.
Horn Francis and 3 votes to Jordan Sweet, which means Tom McCarthy gets the 3 votes in the Christian Medal, and I need a 2 and a 1. Which way are you going?
Well, you go with those 2, Cara. I've just thrown some... I don't know if you can understand my dribble. I've been drawing pictures.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, scribbles here.
Kelly was
and
good.
And you dribble.
Tommy Cole got a couple and was good.
Yeah, I tend to go, so if with Tom McCarthy's got the 3 across, I'm going to go give the 2 to Tim Kelly and the 1 to Tommy Cole. Thought that was his best game I've seen in a very long time.
And he's coming on the radio shortly, so he...
Oh, absolutely.
Give him a vote.
Tom Cole, he scores goals. 2 goals to him.
We'll be asking him if is his job to play on someone as a forward. It's interesting to see what role he's got there.
Dan says the WA teams won the cumulative score today from today's games by 118 points. That's good from you, Dan. I like that. Marcus in South Melbourne, it's his 69th birthday tomorrow. And what a wonderful set of results for a Foundation Freo supporter. I guess they would be indeed. Freo winning, West Coast losing. You would be absolutely thrilled. Let's take a little bit of the press conference. Here's Andrew McQualter.
Thanks, Andrew. Andrew, commiserations on the loss tonight. What do you feel like went wrong for you guys?
Oh, not too much. I thought first half were under the pump. I thought they beat us a bit in contest and stoppage, quarter 1. First 15 minutes of quarter 2, I thought they were on top. But then after that, I thought 2.5 quarters was pretty dominant. Third quarter, I thought we had the game on our terms. They did score a little bit easily, though. But, yeah, second half was, every part of the game, the way that it looked was the way we wanted it to. Just had a little bit of trouble scoring at times. We had, mid-50 entries and only kicked 10 goals, so that's a bit of a challenge for us. Yeah, I'm gutted that that's the result we got, the outcome we got, but really pretty pleased and proud of the effort and the fight, the will to win and competing.
Excuse me for being so abrupt, but how bad do you think the injuries, quad injuries?
Yeah, it was. It didn't look good. Certainly made me a little bit sad, as I imagine it did for all of our Eagles supporters. But we don't know. We'll go away. We'll do all the tests required. And see what happens.
He didn't obviously look great on the field. He was playing so well. How I suppose, was he after the game? Was he heartbroken? How was he kind of?
No, Rib's okay. He's fine. He's he's a warrior. He'll be fine. He'll, whatever it is, he'll work hard. That's what he does. It's in his DNA. So he'll work hard. He'll be back. He'll be bigger and stronger, and we'll be okay.
What about going back though? Who do you have now to cover? I watched the Waffle today, and it kind of seems like there's no real option to turn to.
Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge for us, but I thought the guys competed really hard for those last 2 quarters. Bazo and Youngie were really competitive. I thought they did a good job, and we've got some options that we'll work our way through. And like any team, having one of your best players is hard to replace, but we'll find a way.
How did you view Brandon Starsovic's first game for the club?
Yeah, it was awesome to see Stars play for us. I think he's only going to get better. He's missed a lot of football, so he got had a few cramps there late in the game and worked his way through it. But the more he plays with these guys, understands the way we play, he's going to be so important for us.
Let's leave Andrew McQualter and hear from Mitch Turner downstairs speaking with Tom Cole.
Thanks, Clint. Down here with West Coast leader Tom Cole. Coley, that must hurt. That was a tough one. You had a lot of chances in the last quarter. How do you feel after that one?
Yeah, mate, it does hurt. I feel like we got a lot of things right on the night. I think the numbers inside 50s were plus a lot our way. So when you have that stat looking like that, usually results go your way. But they seem to be able to bounce on us pretty easily and score at times against momentum, which credit to them. Their pressure was good in that first half, and we probably didn't deal with it very well. But yeah, we fought to the end, and yeah, it stings a bit. Knowing we had our chances too late in that last quarter to probably win the game, and just didn't take them.
It obviously hurts after losing a close one immediately after the game, but you've lost a lot in the last few years where you really haven't rocked up and played anywhere near your best footy, but you put in a pretty good showing tonight, and I hate to say respectable loss, but you fought pretty hard and had a lot of chances. It must make you a little bit pleased to know you didn't just roll over, you just came up short in a really tough game.
Yeah, I think probably our last five weeks of footy, we've been in basically every game, and we just that's what we want to do. We want to give ourselves a chance to win. As you said, over the last probably 3 or 4 years, there's been games where we haven't given ourselves a chance from probably the get-go. So to be able to be in games and give ourselves a chance to win is what we're trying to do. Disappointing not to win, but yeah, we're building something that you can see that we're getting a little bit better. So that's what we ask for.
Yeah, it's probably been the best 4 weeks of footy this club's put together for a long time. You're getting a bit of support from your former teammate Jermaine Jones behind you. He's giving you a bit of advice, the South Freo player. But on your role, obviously a premiership defender, Major Bones playing back there in the back six, but seems like you've played almost every role this year, all over the ground, and tonight 2 goals, Coley, which is a rare feat and a chance to kick a pretty important one late. I hate to bring it up, but a really good performance for you. What have you made of your role tonight?
Yeah, mate, Minnie kind of come to me 3 weeks ago, and kind of floated the idea, and mate, I was open to take it. Our backline's been playing really well, and with the additions of Stars, who played really well tonight in his first game, Josh Lindsay, who's probably stiff to be out of the team, Bo Allen coming through. There's some really good depth in the back line, and there was an opportunity there to play forward. We've had some injuries in the forward line this year, and I feel like the strength of my game can convert to a forward through pressure and work rate. Like that's what I bring as a footballer, and that's what that high half forward role entails a bit. So Minnie kind of floated the idea, and I was absolutely open to taking it. Been building over the last few weeks. Got a couple of opportunities tonight. Kicked a couple, missed an important one, which is disappointing. So get to work this week on my goal kicking for sure.
Celebrations were good anyway, though. You're good for a goal celebration. Before I ask you a couple more serious ones, Tom Cole joining us from the West Coast Eagles. Your goal song's pretty good. Bit of Taylor Swift love story. Did you choose that?
Nah, that's from my daughter Teddy. Don't know if you saw, she was on Roaming Brian last week, and she wasn't happy with me not kicking goals because my goal song's Love Story, so she loves that song. She gets to dance to it, and she wasn't even here tonight. It's too late the game, so she didn't even make it to the game. So she'll be fuming. But yeah, we'll have to watch those ones back on TV. But that's my young daughter Teddy. Yeah,
I was loving it in the box. You got good music taste, Coley. Ruben Jimby, that's a tough one to see. Quad injury in true Ruben fashion, desperately trying to defend a potential goal from Port Adelaide. That's a bit of a blow considering what a year he's had.
Yeah. Massive blow. Hopefully it's not too serious. Ruben's been our best, one of, if not our best player this year. Gets the job on the heart, the biggest and best forward every week, and often undersized. but just an ultimate competitor. Like a teammate everyone loves playing with, know what you're going to get out of him, and it was unfortunate to see him go down, and it really probably could have rattled us in the past. I think it was big bias to stand up, Youngie, next man in, just took on the role on Georgiades, and I think we did a good job in the end. Hopefully it's not too serious.
One of the oldies. So that's bad news for Ruben Ginbey, of course, as we know. West Coast obviously losing the game and losing Ruben Ginbey as well to a quad injury. So as Tom Cole said then, hopefully it's not too serious. And at least we got to the answer as to why he's got the Swiftie song, the Taylor Swift song for his goal celebration for his daughter Teddy. I love to hear it. Thanks very much to Chris Waterman and to Cara Antonio for their role tonight as experts, to Mitch Turner downstairs at Cash Fotodar as well, to Tristan, our tech, and to Jesse Donnelly-Jones back in the studio. Repeating the results today, Saturday footy, Port Adelaide have beaten West Coast by 6, Brisbane by 31 over Gold Coast, Freo by 124 against North. Matt Clinch will get us started tomorrow alongside Cameron Ling for Sunday AFL. Hope you can join me for the forum, and then it'll be Sydney and the Saints and the Bombers and the Blues. On behalf of ABC Sport, Clint Wilden saying bye for now.